Yeah,
shilling.
And then we got a bunch of Discord points to hit, which I imagine you might hit some of them naturally. So.
Yeah, no, I saw some of the questions being asked.
I didn't even,
You are not the only one who
I'll get ahead of one of them. I do not know how to shower because I've never played blue in this format.
Wait, what was did you put it in general?
Blue players are the sweaty players.
Well, it's also the color of the shower.
I think. Oh, fair.
Is it?
So water is blue.
No, water is not blue.
The water I bathe in is blue.
Larry. Well, yeah, because we live in Nashville. Larry's not white. Larry's clear.
Tom's gonna
Is water wet?
Water. Oh no.
I was walking down the city street when a man walks up and hands me the latest energy drink. What? Run faster, jump higher. Man, I'm not going to let you poison me. I threw it on the ground.
God,
Man!
I'm like, what is going on?
I'm not going to be a part of your system.
What, you think I'm a joke? I'm not going to be part of this system.
Who is that? It's
Lonely Island.
Lonely Island. There we go.
Lonely Island.
Welcome back to another episode of the Common Ground Podcast. Your favorite podcast. We talk about your favorite format, Pauper. This is episode 126. I am your co-host, Cameron, feeling a little silly Schindler. Also joined by Thomas, Ephemerate Gun. What's happening?
Yo, that's me.
That is
I've
you.
been rocking this deck. It's pretty fun. Loses pretty hard to Affinity without the right pieces. I gotta say, small sample size, but did just get my teeth kicked in by one James
You guys split
Hippopotamus.
games.
I won one game. He won 3 games.
Oh, that's not what I heard. My bad.
Split.
Yeah.
It is a split.
Yeah.
Not an even split.
No, not favorable. But small sample size. But I trust my insights.
You gotta
when playing
learn.
against James.
It's about learning, and tweaking.
I have learned quite a bit just from a
heck
few
yeah.
games. Yeah.
Nice. Also joined by James Hippo Hieronymus. How are you doing?
Couldn't come up with anything fun.
No, I had one. What did I say when
Hippos
I
are
walked up a
pretty
door
fun,
today?
to be fair.
They are.
I walked to the door and I called you something.
I don't remember.
I don't either. I should have used that. I don't remember it though. If only there was technology to remember this kind of stuff.
If only.
But if only.
I'm doing all right. Just
Good.
got done playing some games with Thomas, beating his teeth in a little bit.
The other
I heard about that
Yeah, the other
recently. That
perspective.
sounds familiar.
Does sound familiar.
Also joined by.
I knew I was feeling a little something in here.
Yeah.
Oh my god! I almost forgot. I forgot your real name for a second. Matthew Silly Sentilles. I don't know when the last time I called you Matthew was. How are you doing?
Great.
735.
How are ya?
Mr. 735 himself. How are you doing?
That's not me.
Oh.
But thank you.
I got my people confused. No, you got the nickname of 735, but we
Flattered.
thought we'd have you back for a 5th time to to talk about.
A air quote 5th time.
Yeah. A 5th time.
If you didn't figure it out, he was one of those for our April Fool's
What?
episode.
What April Fool's episode?
Yeah, you're right.
What are you talking about?
I don't remember recording an episode.
Oh, they
Yeah,
deserve to know. Behind
I
the scenes.
remember. Actually, I remember where I was that week. I
No,
think
they know
on
behind the
Monday. I
scenes.
I came over here for a little bit. Then I went to go get Fat Bites.
Oh, that was
while
me.
y'all recorded.
Yeah, but you played me. So if you listen to that, Sentilles was pretending to be me.
You did a pretty spot on job.
Pay no
I'd have to
attention
say.
to the man behind the curtain.
Exactly. So back for the 6th time, we thought we'd get you on because I didn't really want to do this, but we split finals for the scrub lane. And you said part of the deal for splitting the finals was a Jund deep dive episode of the pod.
I didn't say when it had to be.
I didn't know that was the whole deal.
No, I told you that. I said it as a joke.
I didn't remember.
I'm like, I also promised. I put it in text. It's in written.
This could have been 10 months from now. It would have been fine.
No, I'm kidding. Obviously, I wanted to do this.
No, we're happy to have you
Yeah,
back.
that's a no-brainer.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
Every episode you've been on has been a banger, so no pressure.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, but
How are you?
Well, good. I was talking a little earlier. I'm tired. I started a new job a couple weeks ago, so that's been super fun and exciting. But also, I'm throwing myself into the gauntlet of Nashville traffic now, and it kind of sucks.
welcome to Nashville.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Gotta
It's
get out of
nothing
that.
like Chili's.
Nothing like Chili's.
They got a triple dipper.
Nothing like Chili's.
They got a triple dipper.
'Cause But
24, 40, and 65.
Those are triple dippers.
God, I miss chili so much. The freaking
It's still around, you know.
Well, I can't have it. The honey chipotle chicken. Oh,
Well,
I would do terrible things for them.
still have it, just not for very long.
Yeah, like it's like eating a bullet. You can do it once. It's like the scenario there. It's like me eating peanut butter. I can do it once.
Better make it count.
Yeah. Do we got any housekeeping first? You want to do plug some stuff like this tournament in July, like the biggest tournament in July in Pauper?
I mean, it's clearly the Common Ground Cup, the fourth
coolest
Common Ground
one,
Cup.
yeah.
There are also a couple
They don't matter.
other
much,
very large Pauper tournaments going on in July. We're being a little facetious. But yeah, the fourth Common Ground Cup's coming July 25th. We're still a little ways out, but I want to remind folks that the hotel block, if you want to book a room, there are still a few rooms available. That deal closes June 16th, so you only have about a month to, actually pretty much exactly a month, to make that reservation. It's going to close a little earlier in comparison to the tournament date, so be aware of that.
Time flies.
Yeah, time
So,
flies.
Get on that.
Well, we're looking forward to it. And Mr. Matthew Sentilles will be joining us in the commentary
Oh
booth.
yeah, I don't think we announced that on the podcast yet.
Yeah, we had.
Not officially. We've kind of like, I think we posted it in text,
Yeah.
but yeah, not like officially like talked about it, I think.
That's gonna be a blast. So we
I'm
got
pretty hyped.
Okay, it's
Yeah.
Hawaiian themed.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
beach-
okay.
Oh, I was
like
already
beach
preparing to bring
vibes.
like a Hawaiian shirt before you even said that.
Yeah, put a little like sunscreen on your nose.
I thought
like-
about that. I think that'd be
yeah.
funny.
Yeah, in the booth.
Get
I'm so pale, nobody would notice.
That's true.
Can wear a shirt that can accommodate a couple coconuts under it.
Wearing a
there you go.
shirt.
There you
I'm
go.
just wearing the coconuts, like the coconuts and the grass skirt.
There you go.
I'm gonna be shredded by then.
Okay.
This is true.
It is.
You're not going to need coconuts. You're going to have 2 biceps.
I'm gonna need
I'm excited.
coconuts.
But yeah, but this lovely tournament that Matthew's going to join us for on the production side is, of course, going to be held at Game Night, GameNightTN.com, down in Columbia, Tennessee. They are a sponsor of the pod. Thank you, Game Night, the premier LGS of the Middle Tennessee region.
Lots of great
Factual.
popper happening there. They do a Tuesday weekly there.
Yep.
Also, they'll do these. Oh, there's a win a box this Saturday there
It's
for
of Modern Horizons 3.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Going to that?
Saturday night
Are you going to that?
at 6 o'clock, right?
Is it Saturday night?
I think it's the evening. Yeah.
I'll have to double check. Are you going to that?
I'm just now learning about it, so maybe.
I'm just learning about it too. I also told friends I would play board games with them Saturday night, so assuming it was going to happen during the day. So,
I have no idea. I haven't checked.
but if you're into that, that's a super sick tournament. They do cool winner boxes, winner duels.
A couple
Some-
winner duels
yeah.
coming up in June.
Intellis and I split a winner duel.
Infinite card selection.
Infinite card selection, definitely.
This is true.
You can put an order at Game Night Tennessee.
Anything from a lightning bolt to a Black Lotus.
That is true. If they haven't sold it yet, they found homes for a lot of that stuff. So you can go to their website, Game Night Tennessee, and
Game
you
Night
can put
TN.
in order in. You can make a little list on there, and you can go pick that stuff up.
Mm-hmm.
So be sick if you're in the Middle Tennessee area. Definitely check it out. If you're not in the Middle Tennessee area, check it out for the Common Ground Cup. You will check it out eventually.
Also have all sorts of other gaming accessories and whatnot. Things like Pokemon and Lorcana. Mm-hmm. Lots of there's a giant Pikachu plushie in there. That, if you want to get your plushie on.
If you want to get your plot beyond life size, it's big. It's
It is pretty big.
How big is Gigamax Pikachu?
Gigantamax Pikachu. I mean, it's bigger. It's taller than the stadium.
All right,
That's
never
like
mind. We do not have a life size version of that.
Not
My bad.
Gigantamax.
My bad. Okay, I was gonna
not
say
quite.
it's
Something
Not
in
even
between.
Dynamax. Come on.
yeah
Something
oh,
in between.
I didn't even play those games.
I didn't. It's a Pikachu EX Delta species. There you go.
Ooh.
Those are just
Ooh. What
birds.
type is it?
Rock is Pikachu's Delta species. Actually,
Whoa. There you
Why?
go.
I don't know.
I don't know.
It just
I don't
is.
make the rules.
I just follow them. But let's do it. Let's just dive into it. You said you brought. I like how you broke this down. If you want to take the
Sure.
stage.
Yeah.
So what are we talking about today?
Yeah.
Jund forever.
Yeah.
100 years.
100
Jund,
years.
slop 'em up. 100 years. Jund forever.
That is how you got our nickname of Silly 735.
Sure.
Doing vajunness.
Yeah, I've been enjoying the Jund Wildfire deck for a little while now.
Over a year.
It's been a good time, yeah. And okay, so I tried to organize my thoughts in a who, what, when, where, why, how style. So I'm gonna, I guess, start at the top with like when/where did the deck come from? So Jund Wildfire, if you don't know, didn't really exist until post Modern Horizons 3 because people like to call it, you know, in a positive light and in a negative light, kind of just a bunch of Modern Horizons 3 cards.
Yeah.
And it definitely is. Cleansing Wildfire has been played for a while, but I think mostly just in the Jeskai shells, right?
It was doing
Never
that.
really broke out of that.
The main deck of it. That was all from MH2
stuff.
Yeah.
And then Cleansing Wildfire got printed.
Yeah. And then, so Modern Horizons 3 comes out summer 2024. Big focus is on Basking Brood Scale. Everybody's trying to figure out the best way to make that the best deck in the format, which I think they pretty much succeeded.
Yeah.
And so around, I think, fall 2024 is when we start to see, I don't know, to oversimplify things, I'm just going to refer to Walker 735 as kind of the main driving creative force behind the deck. He's a guy, he's Italian, he's on Twitter, he likes to play these kinds of decks, and I think the short and simple story is that he had been playing Grixis Affinity and then said, what if we tried to play as many Modern Horizons 3 cards as possible? And then it's actually really cool because you can kind of port Grixis over to Jund almost card for card. Like Writhing Chrysalis is your Mirror Enforcer. Cleansing Wildfire is your Thought Cast. They both play refurbs. They both play Ichor Wellspring, Blood Fountain. Makeshift munitions, Jund plays Fanatical Offering while Grixis plays the Reckoner's Bargain. But like
cast down to Galvanic.
Krark-Clan Shaman.
They both play Krark. They can both play Toxin. They both play Bridges and some other artifact lands as well. And it's so, if you've ever wondered, is this deck anything more than literally just a pile of cards that you can kind of, see where it came from the Grixis origins. And so, since then, they've diverged a little bit. I know a popular question is what's the difference between Jund and Grixis? Like, why would I play one over the other? They're both definitely mid-range decks. Both very interested in casting Ichor Wellspring and then sacrificing it. But Grixis definitely has the edge in that it's mid-range, but definitely has the ability to lean more aggro. It has draws where it dumps a couple of Mirror Enforcers by turn 3 and 4. You've got more burn with Galvanic Blasts. The Utrom monitors that it started playing recently are a lot more aggressively slanted than anything Jund has going forward. And Black Mage's Rod gives it an element of reach that really helps out in certain matchups.
So what's Jund's advantage over that? If Grixis
Writhing Chrysalis
that
and other things, but mostly, honest to God,
I
you
think
can
it's
kind
just
of
Writhing
that is the biggest part of it. I also think that, among other things, Cast Down has better matchups. I think you are a mid-range deck leaning much more to the control side with Jund, to the point where I like to joke, before it started playing the Gixian Infiltrators, Wildfire was basically a control deck, but nobody called it that because Jund control sounds dumb. It would be very rare for you to open up against a deck and find yourself in the beatdown position game one. That very rarely happened.
You weren't winning games by turn 6 very often.
No, I think mathematically the soonest you can feasibly win with the deck is turn 5, and that's if your opponent basically does stone cold nothing and you draw the nuts.
Yeah,
you are very rarely a beatdown deck, but the upside is that you have, I think, a bit more grinding potential. The quote-unquote mana advantage of Grixis is that you play a bunch of affinity cards, whereas the mana advantage of Jund is you get to play Cleansing Wildfire, which is less potent in bursts, but over the course of a 20-turn game gives you more mana to work with for every single spell you cast.
Okay, I get you there.
So,
and it has some weird versatility if you hit a Tron land, a Basilisk Gate.
Yep.
There's a deck that only plays 4 lands, and they need a black source to cast their combo card, and if you hit that black source, they can be in trouble.
That can be potentially very good. Yeah, we'll definitely talk some more about that in the matchups, but I think overall, basically the difference is Grixis is faster and has more reach, Jund is slower and has more late game potential. Okay. Also, I think that the green obviously gives you access to Chrysalis, but also I think your sideboard cards are potentially more impactful blue versus green, like blue and Grixis gets you blue blasted. That's definitely very, very good. But like the couple of naturalizes you can get out of green and Weather the Storm as well. I think green is a deeper sideboard color for this kind of
I like
deck.
that. Like the blast is extremely strong, but nothing's gonna be weathering a storm.
More lands and affinity come into play tapped, so you need mana efficiency over like
this is also true. Yes.
Yeah, so you're like having the blasts as like singular mana cards that you can play on awkward turns.
Yeah,
whereas you're going to naturally have more mana in play.
Yeah, and definitely I think blue blast is like probably better than any green card in the format, right? Like especially talking about sideboard.
Come on.
Well, I'm sure, especially out of the sideboard. But I think that the depth of blue as a sideboard color in these decks tends to fall off a little bit after that, and so it's just something different.
No, I get that. That makes more sense. Maybe not quite as strong as the blast, but it gives you more range with like the life gain, the artifact destruction, all that fun stuff.
So I'm personally a big fan of the Nyxborn Hydra too, as a little bit more versatility for green. It pops in and out of lists recently. It's not like a stock one of, or sometimes it was people were playing two of a little while back. Yep. But I really like that once you do get to that late stage in the game where you have all this mana, you have a very potent push sort of win condition pressure to be able to push over 1 to 2 turns. Just turn the corner very quickly.
That definitely falls into the like Jund being a slower mid-range deck, but having more closing power. If you're playing it, Hydra is definitely a big part of that. Yeah.
So are you just on Walker's list then? Or have you made tweaks to that?
So the past while I've been playing Walker's List from November. It's my favorite version of the list that I've played because it plays all the cards that I like and doesn't play the cards that I don't, and it's very
crazy,
shocking. And it's also very well rounded. It's not the most. There have been innovations, believe it or not, in the past 6 months. I think most of the Italian Cabal are on the 4 Gixian lists now.
Are you on that?
I have not. I have tried it in the past and then ended up going back to this other list that only plays 2. I know it's more favorable right now. I think it's a challenge metagame thing where the kinds of decks that Gixian is specifically good against are seeing a lot of play right now. Okay. But I haven't tried out the latest and greatest lists. That they've been playing a lot and seeing a lot of success with lately. If you would like to see exactly what that is and see exact sideboarding sheets, I'm just going to get this out of the way now. Like Walker's sideboard guide is the best that I've ever read. It's the only Magic guide I've ever bought and read, but it's really good. It doesn't really do me any good to say it's the best, but it's like I think it's very, very insightful. It goes into way more depth than I could ever go into on like deck construction, card considerations, matchups, sideboard guides. He's got like 5 tiers of decks it goes down for sideboard sheets. It's wow. It's amazing.
Let me turn you on to Luffy's guide.
Yeah.
It is massive.
I also believe that.
It is. Yeah, it's very similar construction, kind of the same thing. I'll shill for a little bit.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah. So, like, I'll also get it out the way. Like, I am nothing if not a Walker 735 disciple. Like, most of the big picture.
Yeah, but tattoo's crazy.
It's, all right. Well, most people weren't supposed to see that.
Yeah, that was a special one-time thing.
It's right above the butt. So.
Yes, yeah. Like, right below the tramp stamp line.
Right below it?
Yeah, it kind of dips in.
Impressive.
What was I saying?
You're shilling.
Yeah, so I'm shilling. Most of the big picture concepts for this deck he has written about extensively, and I can't really come up with anything new to say. So like, I'm not going to keep saying it every time. Well, Walker says this and Walker does this, but like, again, most of the like high concept stuff he's been he's been one of the main driving forces behind this deck. When it comes to the more particular stuff, like certain cards in certain situations, I'll try to speak to my experiences as much as possible. But like, again, if this deck excites you and interests you, and you like really want to take it to the next level, I can't recommend his guide enough.
Can confirm. I also have purchased this guide.
Yeah, it's awesome. And then a couple other things I think, because I know I'm going to say it a bunch. I'm going to say Deadly Dispute Effect to refer to, in this deck, Fanatical Offering and Eviscerator's Insight. Also generally includes Reckoner's Bargain and
Yeah.
I don't know.
We
What is it?
also use that
pillage,
lingo.
plunder.
We do.
Was it costly plunder?
Well,
That's the
yeah,
original
technically,
terrible
yeah,
one.
yeah.
Anything that's like
The
one in a
worst
black, sack an artifact or creature, draw 2 cards, and maybe something else.
Yeah.
I just sometimes call them all deadly dispute effects, and then I also kind of generally refer to a large amount of decks as slop decks. I think your deck is a slop deck if it includes the card Ichor Wellspring. So, Jund, Grixis, all the like Boros, Moxite, and like Mardu Synth decks, sort of kind of Gardens and Fog. They use the same draw engine of like Ichor Wellspring and sacrificing it to a deadly dispute effect, but they're trying to win the game in a very different way than all the rest of those mid-range decks. But just like I'll usually refer to like, oh, this card's really good in the slop mirror, or like, oh, this is not good against the slop decks. That's kind of generally what I'm talking about.
The mid-range grindy crap.
Yeah, again, anything that wants to cast an Ichor Wellspring and then either pick it back up or sacrifice it.
Yeah,
That's a
yeah.
slop deck.
Oh,
Okay.
we got a lot of that
mind
floating
that.
around the format too. So.
Yeah, there's a lot of slop right now.
Where's Blades to make it a resurgence?
Yep.
Less,
Also counts.
less of the sacky stuff, but still on the pick it
Yeah.
up, play it, pick it up,
Yep.
play it.
Totally counts.
Sloppy.
Oh yeah, it gets sloppy.
They
cards
get- they get a
in
little
zones.
sloppy.
Oh yeah,
So,
Cameron
Let's
thinks
see
you're
here.
sloppy if you play the deck.
yeah. My breaches got sloppy.
oh dear, you should see a doctor about that.
Yeah, I will. Or an engineer. Do you know
So
any?
let's see. Pardon?
I said, or an engineer because it's a bridge. Do you know any?
No.
Oh, okay, unfortunate.
So let's see.
Zip
So
lines,
that was-
damn it, zip lines.
Zip lines.
Not bridges.
Oh yeah, you're right. My bad. Continue.
Okay, so that was when, where, why does anybody listen to this podcast? No,
You know, that's a great question.
That is a good question.
They enjoy our personalities,
why?
and some enjoy the me
supposedly.
and
No,
my
honey,
pants
you-
jokes. Some do not.
No, honey, you don't understand. I listen for the articles.
What? What is that a reference to?
It's like people. No, you don't understand. I'm reading Playboy for the articles.
Oh, I've never heard that.
Never heard
I had
It's
yes.
like an old
What's
joke.
that from? It's from something.
Oh, is it? I don't
it's
know.
From it's from a thing. I can't remember.
Mad
what it's from.
TV. I don't know.
No, it's not.
All right, I'm going to do a quick blur. Why should you listen to me? I first picked this deck up in January 2025, so I've been playing it pretty much nonstop for
About a year and a half.
year and a half almost. My crowning achievements last summer between the NRG Pauper event and the Common Ground Cup 2, I went 8-1-4. And all 4 of those draws were unintentional.
Wow.
I made top 8 at that NRG with Cameron Draw Bracket Schindler, brothers in the Draw
Dude,
Bracket.
there's a picture of you
Because
and
we
Dustin.
both went like 4-1-2, right?
Yeah, I went 4-1-2. Yep. I might have been 4-0-3.
Oh yeah.
I can't remember, but
And then about a month ago, I went on like the heater of my life, split the finals of the game night, win a duel with my brother in the Draw Bracket, Cameron, won the poster at the win a poster at JC's, the 1K that like top 8 split cash and then 4 people left the building. That was funny. And then the next weekend at the Koch in Kentucky, the Court of Commons Quarterly, I won a foil 7th edition counterspell that looks very pretty. And so over 3 weeks, I went 15-1 with a whole bunch of IDs in there.
what about your Middle Tennessee record that one time?
Oh, that doesn't. We don't
One
need
season.
to talk about that.
Yeah, weren't you like 11-1?
I think my record in that store is something like 16-1-3.
Yeah, that's pretty good too. You're
Just
good.
hollow
so-
ground.
so, like,
you're
you're
not just
local-
playing
you're-
Jund though. I played Spy
Yeah.
and Ponza and like
Yeah,
some other stuff. I just
You see,
that specific
you're
store.
okay. You're okay at
The
Magic.
three draws were from Jund though, of course.
No, those are IDs.
Oh, okay. Sure.
Yeah, those are no, that's very different.
Okay, I bet. But
Because like one of the serious problems with this deck is like, how do you stop drawing?
That was one of the questions we received.
And we'll definitely talk about that because that is like a legitimate problem. You
Play
run into.
faster.
Yeah, that's part of it.
yeah. Yeah.
But anyway, so I just wanted to say all that. Like, I've played this deck for a long time. I think I've tried out most cards that have seen play in the main and sideboard.
You've
and
been
can
on this for a
talk
bit.
about. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I feel ready to talk about most of them.
Yeah, this is also one that I come back to
Yes.
on occasion as well.
Hip, you enjoy casting.
I love mid-range nonsense piles in this format. Adore them.
Yeah.
Yeah. We need to get Thomas on the train.
I know. I need more mid-range practice. I keep saying
Let me
this.
just hand you this Jund deck to take you to Baltimore.
There you go.
The deck is, as you're going to learn, very good.
Still
And
pretty
then
good.
this is my favorite section. Who is this deck for? 1. Are you Italian? They love this. They cannot get enough of sacrificing Ichor Wellspring to Fanatical Offering.
It's true.
Jund could be like a B tier deck. It'll be the most played deck at Pauper again.
No,
it doesn't matter.
it's S tier. It's the best deck.
It's the only S tier deck.
Okay, some of the best parts about following Walker are the Walker posting. It's if there are no believers in Jund Wildfire as a deck, that means this man is dead.
Yeah,
he is one of its biggest creators. He is its biggest fan, and it's not even close. His tier list will be S tier, Jund, A tier, the decks that beat Jund, B tier, rest of the format.
Yeah,
That's hilarious.
I think you were over recording one day when that happened, like one of those days, and I just like, did you see this? Did you see this nonsense?
incredible.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Second point, you might like this deck if the concept of casting Cleansing Wildfire as a cantripping rampant growth sends a shiver down your spine. It does not get old.
That's cool.
It's like Cleansing Wildfire is one of the most fun cards to cast in the deck. It just feels good.
Yes, it does.
3. You like the sensation of untapping 13 lands at the same time. Like enough that you have to use 2 hands.
Oh yeah.
It feels good. 4th, and this is like kind of a real one now. I got into Magic playing limited. Like, for a couple of years, I was at F&M like 40 something Fridays out of the year to draft.
Oh yeah.
How many Fridays
several
are there in a
years.
year?
Roughly
52.
52.
Okay.
Point
So,
something.
a lot. Okay.
52.25 or
I don't
whatever.
know. Yeah.
Or point whatever.
I don't
Oh,
know.
God. Nah, my math is terrible there.
And so I really like limited, and this deck appeals to me, and I kind of spent a little time trying to figure out why that is. And I think it's because this is a deck that is deeply rooted in Magic fundamentals, which is a term that I think gets thrown around a lot. I think y'all have talked about it a lot. And to me, Magic fundamentals are basically anything about the game that is emphasized and honed in limited Magic. So combat, both sides of that, attacking and blocking, like timing removal spells, like figuring out when to use your card draw versus holding up interaction versus like when to fire off what, like card draw, interaction, combat, like stuff that's really, really important in a game of limited. I think this deck is very important in piloting this deck. I was talking to Tyler, Blue Hair Mage, also known as My Guy Tie Guy, about limited versus constructed, and he was talking about like, yeah, sometimes I get hung up, trying to draft where like this was him saying this, like he gets really excited about cards that like, hey, if this works out, it can be really good, versus cards that are just generically like all like the ceiling might be a little higher, but the floor is way higher. It's just like a generically good card. And I thought that was funny. Yeah. A shock is the perfect, it's just like always good. It's not very sexy, but it's always good.
Yeah.
And I was telling him I've struggled going the other way from limited to constructed, where I have a hard time believing in those decks that are full of cards that are like, oh, if this is in the right deck, it's really, really good, because I see that and I go, well, what if the deck, what if it's not good in your deck? It's like, well, no, you get to pick the other 56 cards that go into your deck.
The sneaky snackers.
Yes,
Okay,
exactly.
yeah.
Versus
The refurbished
Jund
familiar.
is just a bunch of good cards, and so that makes a lot of sense to me.
Rate dot deck.
Yes, exactly. And so I think if you enjoy limited and like what you could call like Magic fundamentals, I think this is a really good deck to try out. Good buddy Sam, who's Alum the pod, he's tried out Jund a couple of times, I think, on Moto, and has kind of commented similarly that he's liked the feel of it because it's just like,
So he's 5-0 the
is-
leagues then.
basically, yeah.
Yeah, you'd have to if he.
It's just like, it's compared to something like Mono Red Madness or Mono Blue Terror, those decks are way more than the sum of their parts. Jund, it's pretty darn close to the sum of its parts, but like those parts are really good.
Okay.
Yeah, each individual card is just high quality.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard when you play like one of these decks, like you said, like Terror, and it's like, man, my mental note hit my Terror, and I just didn't get my snakes off this game. I only saw one snake and no other snakes, so you didn't draw that. In Jund, it's kind of hard to have that problem when all your cards are so generically good.
The floor of mental note is you paid 1 mana to do nothing. You milled 2 islands and just wasted a mana. But the ceiling of mental note is you get to play 3 Tolarian Terrors on turn 3.
Versus the floor
like cast down is always just cast down.
Yeah, I was say the floor of a draw to is you have to sacrifice a land.
Yeah.
And it gets countered. That's bad. But I guess that's the floor. It's not great.
That's technically the floor for every
is you
spell.
spent 1 mana and it got countered.
It gets countered.
Or you had to spend 2 mana on Refurbished Familiar. Like, I know technically the floor is you have all basics in place somehow, but that doesn't happen. But like the floor of Refurbished Familiar is extremely high. The ceiling is like, okay, it's it's not the highest. It's not, Gutter Snipe. It's not Spell Stutter Sprite.
It's still just a 2-for-1.
But it's just a busted card in most scenarios.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that if any of those kinds of things sound like things you enjoy doing in a game of Magic, then this is a deck that's worth checking out. So what is this deck? Let's see. So the list I'm going to go through, I'm literally looking at a tweeted picture. It's from November 20th that Walker posted, and this is the list that I've been playing in the past couple of months that I was talking about earlier. And like I said, I enjoy it because I think it's a very well-rounded version of the list, so I've enjoyed it, and I think it's a really good one to talk about. And so I'm just going to kind of
this is a great segment to put in the difference between online and paper. This is perfect for that.
Yes. Yeah. Once I kind of go through this list, I'll say like the different lists that you should play expecting different metagames is essentially what it comes down to.
Essentially, the disclaimer is this is what they're going to play, not what they're going to play online. The list that they play online are very tuned for online metagames because there's a lot of inbred nonsense going on Magic Online. Well, I mean, the same people play the same challenges every week.
Yeah.
So they're going to play these particular card choices because of that.
Yep. And I think that's a good point as to like why I've liked this list so much is, like I said, it's very well rounded, and so for paper play, it's very good into. It has a lot of the tools you need to beat a lot of different decks versus, hey, I'm signing up for a challenge and I think that 20% of the field is playing Madness. Well, okay, then I'm going to make some deck building changes to reflect that.
Yeah, paper metagame is generally going to be much wider.
Yeah. And so, something that's interesting is the way that he likes to lay out decks, I think is very well suited to, it's like a good way to talk about, is he likes to post decks in 6 columns of roughly equal card quantities, and these are the 6 groups of cards that he likes to think of, like, these are the different roles that I need cards to play in this deck, and they're not going to be exactly even. It's not going to be 6 columns of 10, but like this is how he thinks of the deck. And generally, if you're deck building and one of those columns has way too many cards and another has way too few, the deck is probably out of balance, and you should look at what your card choices are doing for you, because you are fundamentally a mid-range deck. Like, the name of your game is to answer your opponent's threats, stabilize, and then start attacking. And if you lean too heavily into one or the other of these kinds of card types, then you might find yourself struggling to do one of those things.
Makes sense.
First column, artifact lands. So 4 Drawsforge Bridges, 4 Slagwoods Bridges, 4 Vault of Whispers. This is pretty much never changed in the entire history of the deck. You get to play 2 Vault of Whispers because artifacts are good to power out refurbs and sacrifice to your Fanatical Offerings if you need to. You get to play all 8 Bridges because that enables your Cleansing Wildfires. They're all red, so if you have one in play, you can cast a Wildfire. I think that most people know what bridges are. They're they're pretty fundamental to a lot of decks in Pauper right now. Second column, non-artifact lands. 4 Twisted Landscape, 1 mountain, 2 forests, 3 swamp, and a Bajuka Bog, which is kind of a flex slot. I'll come back to that. Twisted Landscape is a Modern Horizons 3 card and therefore busted. Landscapes are genuinely incredible. They are untapped 3-color lands that you can cycle. They're stuplit good.
Yeah.
And they synergize with the Gixian Infiltrator.
They do that as well. Don't play less than 4. The basic split is kind of weird looking, but
Is it 3-2-1?
Yeah, so 3 swamps because you're a primarily black deck, 2 forests in case you need to fetch a second green source to bestow Hydra, and then the 1 mountain because you usually don't ever need to fetch a second one. If you're not playing Hydra and you're playing like a bunch of red blasts in the sideboard, you can play a second mountain instead of the second forest. I think that's kind of fine. The split that of the artifact versus the non-artifact lands, like Hippo mentioned earlier, is really important because like that's one of the key upsides versus Grixis is you play fewer tap lands. Like all those non-artifact lands except for the bog come into play untapped, which just means you could cast cards faster. They're good. Don't like landscapes. If you are ever like they are primarily an untapped mana source, then they are a cycler, and thirdly, they're a fetch. Like,
ooh, interesting.
We'll kind of get it in. I'll say this more with some other stuff, but like, if you have the opportunity, like if you go turn 1 bridge, turn 2 landscape, and you can either like play a 1 mana card, like a spell bomb and fetch, or you can play a 2 mana card. Unless that 1 mana card is extremely important to have down on turn 2, like a spell bomb versus terror or something like that. Like if you're just casting a blood fountain, it's almost always going to be correct to just spend your mana.
Yeah. Especially if it's a wildfire. Jesus, it's the name of the deck.
100%. Yes. Yeah. If you're fetching instead of casting wildfire, you better have a good reason.
You should put the deck down.
Well, yeah, either that or you think they have if you think they have like Cast Into the Fire or Boomerang or Steel Sabotage up, if you take anything away from this, please don't cast your Wildfire into those cards if your opponent has shown you them. You will lose the game on the spot. That's not a joke. It's not an exaggeration. It's like genuinely almost impossible to come back from like getting super duper time walked.
So what do you do about that when you're
cast something else?
Okay.
Do anything else.
Then do you?
I don't play. So here's the thing. I don't play around Boomerang too often because people just don't play it.
Yeah.
Same with Steel Sabotage because most people would rather play a null. Obviously, if they've already shown you these cards, then you need to be on alert. Cast Into the Fire, again, usually most red decks are not trying to leave 2 mana up on your turn, so it's not as big of a deal, but like if like your option is either Wildfire or Ichor Wellspring and your opponent's showing blue, it's probably not a bad idea to go for the Wellspring instead. Because again, if you cast Wildfire and they even if they pay 2 mana and Boomerang your bridge, it's like, okay, what are you doing next turn? You're playing another bridge and you've essentially done nothing for the first 3 turns of the game against a deck that's playing Boomerang, so they're probably trying to kill you.
Yeah.
It's really bad when that happens. And then that flex slot that I've been liking Bojuka Bog. I don't think I've played anything else. I think the 21st land is important. Bojuka Bog is kind of meh, but it is a land and it has some kind of nice upside. Against like Terror, it can slow them down a turn, which might be what you need to have happen. It doesn't really do anything against Spy. You're not like a crop rotation deck. Against Madness, if you just randomly eat like a Sneaky Snacker or a Lava Dart or a Faithless Looting, that's
it's just nice to have access to.
It's just nice. I've seen people play Troll of Khazad-dûm. I think that's not good. You're not a deck that really cares about a vanilla creature, essentially.
Okay.
If you're going to play something else, I think the only other real consideration is Sagu Wilding.
Yeah, some people are on this.
In general, I haven't tried it. I think it's worse because I don't like having to pay green mana for my land.
But you can't deck.
But yes, if you find yourself in the unholy inbred abomination of Moto challenges where a quarter of the field shows up to play Gardens, it's not entirely a joke. You can win games by omening a Sagu Wilding in perpetuity while just killing all of your guard. Yeah, so if you don't know, if you have 0 cards in deck and you cast the Omen, you can search your deck. Sorry, I'm doing air quotes. You can't say search your deck. And you can I don't know what that was supposed to be.
That was the quotations into the microphone.
That was my quotation voice. You can search your deck and not find anything, and then the Sagu's back in your deck, and it doesn't require you to draw anything. So next turn you just draw it, shuffle it back in, and there's no deck. There's nothing to shuffle, and you can technically win games against Gardens unless they have the anti-tech of Return Centaur, in which case...
What does Centaur do?
It's a 4-mana 2/4 that mills target player for 4 cards.
Which, honestly, so I actually want to start here. Yeah, just play Spy instead. Seriously, if that's in the world you're in.
Your LGS apparently looks like challenges from like 2 months ago or whatever, and everybody and their mother's playing Gardens by Sagu Wilding, I guess. But otherwise, like I said, it's basically like playing a tap land, but you have to have green up for it, which is not exactly the easiest thing in the world. Especially early game. Like you might keep a hand that's like, red-black bridge plus swamp and a landscape, and it's like a double tap land. I don't know. It's got a very specific purpose.
And I do want to know that you said 21 lands. That's more than most Pauper decks.
Yes, yeah.
Because this deck wants to hit its land drops.
This deck, I was playing 20 lands when Deadly Dispute was legal, and now that it's not, I've tried 20 lands. I don't like it. Like, it sounds like a weird thing to get finicky about, but this is a deck that wants to hit its land drop until turn 10, and it will use all that mana. Like, this is a deck that can tap out from starting on turn 2 until turn 10. Like, you will not run out of things to spend mana on. You draw a bunch of cards. Those cards also cost mana, so like you will be spending your mana every single turn. That's why I was saying about landscape. Like, if you have the opportunity to use that colorless mana instead of fetching, that's almost always going to be correct, unless you really need a certain like color that you're missing. Like I really need a red source so I can fire off a breath weapon against fairies or something like that. Like, you should be almost like, if you can use that landscape for mana, you should, because you will spend that mana.
Yeah, okay.
Like over and over and over and
But you gotta
over
do
again.
what you gotta do, kind of thing.
Yeah. Again, it's like with anything in Magic, like anything, and you ever hear somebody say there's always an asterisk that, actually, you do want to be on the draw with Manaless Dredge and Legacy.
Oh, God. And then, like, maybe if it's, like, turn 10 and it's, okay, I'm actually going to fetch the last 2 basics out of my deck or whatever, the landscapes.
Yeah, it's literally do nothing or fetch. You can fetch. Do keep in mind, like, it's important to remember what basics you have in play and which ones you don't, in case you could have fetch and you don't have any basics left. That can and will happen. If you're expecting to wildfire into a certain basic and you've got like both forests in play, and for some reason you wanted to fetch a forest, like try and keep in mind like what basics are in play. That especially comes up in the hands where it's like you have a bunch of basics and landscapes and Fault of Whispers, and you've got like this Cleansing Wildfire running in your hand, and then I finally found a bridge, and I go to Wildfire for something. It's like, oh wait, those are already all in play. Okay. That does happen sometimes. Point of order, I think I saw somebody ask this. You should play whatever basic lands are easiest to find. I started off playing some like old border ones, and then switched to the unstable full art ones, because they look really cool, and they're way easier. Like, the forests are green.
Yeah.
Like, they are not easy to miss, because a lot of time you will be searching this deck for basic lands, and the faster you find them, like, that is legitimate time that you kind of need to save in certain matchups. You're casting your wildfires and you're fetching with your landscapes. I saw somebody say they played the I forget what the real name is. The piss like the piss lands.
Oh,
the gold border.
No, those,
whatever.
you're right. The piss lands.
Yeah, the piss lands.
Yeah.
Those are probably the easiest to find. Or like white border lands.
Yeah, then you have to look at the piss lands though if you have them in play.
Well, so does your opponent, so it's kind of evens out.
Oh, good point.
These are the
No, it doesn't.
These are like the
even
gold. I think they're called
ones
first
from-
place foils.
Yeah,
like
They
gold
are.
border
Aether Drift.
ones. Yeah, they're gold bordered, but they're like yellow bordered.
It's your opponent has to look at it for one round. You have to look at it for all the rounds.
This is true.
So
it's
not
give and
worth it.
take, but
Yeah.
finding your lands, making your lands easier to find is like kind of a legitimate upside to your hard.
And put a weight in it, and you can find it easier.
Oh yeah, that sounds really smart.
Cut a corner of your sleeve.
Yeah, mark the sleeve so you know where you can just find it from the other side.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
This
It's
is not
cheating.
legal advice.
Yeah, this is not legal advice. I'm not a judge.
Cool. So that's enough about lands.
Yeah.
Next column is a bunch of artifacts, kind of loosely referred to as, I don't know,
Slop.
box. Yeah, this is your slop pile.
Yeah.
So 1 Blood
Trinkets.
Fountain, 2 Nihil Spell Bombs, 2 Lembuses, 4 Ichor Wellsprings. The Ichor Wellsprings are pretty much untouchable. I don't think the deck has ever played less than 4. It's just the best thing you can be casting for colorless mana for 2 mana. 2 Lembus, I really like the second Lembus. I went down to 1. The life gain is just like super randomly, incidentally, extremely nice to have. Pro tip, if you have a Wellspring and a Lembus both in hand, you should probably cast the Wellspring first, especially if it's like turn 2 and you're like turn 1 bridge, turn 2 untap source. Raw card draw is what you want to cast first so that you can see what you're drawing and then use the selection of the scry after the fact. So
When you know what you're looking for.
right, yeah. So like if you go turn 2 and you're looking for a third land, you can Wellspring, hope you draw it, and if you don't, by the time your turn 3 draw step hits, okay, now I know I need to find a land, and I can use the Lembus to look for that, as opposed to if I use a Lembus to find it, but then I was going to draw one anyway, well then I've kind of burned the scry. So just kind of generally, again, unless you're really looking for something like a breath weapon or something super specific,
Spell bomb against terror.
Yep, spell bomb, something just like kind of a silver bullety card. Then generally you want to use your raw card draw first, and then use your selection from the Lembus. Speaking of which, 2 spell bombs. Spell bomb's really good. It's both really, really good against some decks like Spy, and also just incidentally good against a bunch of decks. Again, against Terror, it can buy you a turn before they start slamming snakes, and that can be the difference between winning and losing, is 1 turn of them having to durdle around and cast more mental notes instead of attacking you for 5.
Yeah.
Against Madness, it's really good to just eat a bunch of like Lava Dart, Faithless Looting, Sneaky. It's one of your best answers to Sneaky Snacker. Like, you can do it, but I kind of would rather concede than cast down a Sneaky Snacker.
Yeah.
And if you can eat one for quote unquote free with a Nihil Spellbomb, especially if you still get to draw the card, it's really, really good.
Every deck in the format is just incidentally using its graveyard.
Yes.
And I think it's actually more relevant now than it almost ever has been.
Right, which is a big part of why this list is only on the 1 Blood Fountain. It used to play 2. Some play none, is because so many other decks are playing stuff out of their graveyard that the graveyard hate is greater than it ever has been. And so, every other slop deck is playing 2 to 4 spell bombs.
I've seen Jund lists with 4 spell bombs.
Yeah, and that's totally reasonable. So like this list has 2 main, 1 side. If your metagame has a bunch of graveyard, like it's a bunch of spy and stuff like that, like play
new
4 spell
Naya
bombs.
Gates
They're
list.
really, really
I think
good.
they
Just cut those 2 Limbus.
Yeah,
or
all these
what?
new.
I think
Pursue the
there's
Path
probably
Yeah,
other stuff you
yeah.
could probably find.
Blood
Like
Fountain.
Blood Fountain is generally a pretty side outable card. You can like I don't know, you maybe trim some other stuff. Spellbomb's really good. The floor is incredibly high. Don't be afraid to crack it without drawing a card if it's really bad for you. If whatever happens, obviously, if it's Spy, yes, you'd rather crack it and not lose the game. But like even in there are other scenarios where like if you're eating a couple of cards that will come back out of their graveyard, and even if you don't get to draw your card, like that can be good enough that like you just fire it off.
A common play pattern against terror too is you're counting to 7 when you're playing against them.
Yep.
Like, you have 3.
6, but yes.
Oh, sorry. I was thinking Mirror Enforcer. Excuse me.
Oh, sure. I mean, it's 7 total mana value. Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You're
right, but
okay,
it's 6.
yeah.
But it's
Well,
6 spells.
You're
in
still
the
counting
graveyard.
7 because
You have to count the lands too.
You can pass and then like hang out in their draw step and be like, whoa.
Well, I'm saying it's like, you have 4 in your graveyard. You can play your 3rd land drop and play the terror. I'm not kind of set up. I'm just gonna crack it now.
Yeah, exactly.
And then
because again, we'll talk more matchup specifics later, but like that's not a matchup where you're super concerned about card advantage. Like you're worried about dying more than anything.
we hate that.
And then the 1 Blood Fountain, it's really good when it works. The problem is there's there's so many other decks that are using their graveyard better than you that there's a bunch of graveyard hate running around, and so like Blood Fountain just comes out a lot. Like again, there's so many spell bombs running around. Like again, it's good when it works, but in the matchups where it's good, which are the other slop decks, again like Grixis and stuff like that, they're playing their own spell bombs, and they're gonna see you're probably playing Blood Fountain. They're gonna bring in more graveyard hate for it. So it's not the end of the world if it gets quote unquote countered because they have a spell bomb in play, but like it just, the world we're living in right now, it's not the greatest. And so if you wanted to cut it, like, I don't even think that's that crazy. You're not super preoccupied with like, oh, but I want to turn 1 Vault of Whispers Blood Fountain so I can turn 2 Refurb. Like, whatever.
You can still turn 2 Refurb in that scenario.
Still,
bridge
well,
and vault.
no, I'm saying you can do that, but you're not super
mana.
concerned about that. Like, you need the Blood Fountain to enable that, and that's not particularly important, so don't get hung up on that. Next column is your divinations.
Divination.
4 Fanatical Offering, 1 Eviscerator's Insight, and 4 Cleansing Wildfire. They're all 2 mana to draw 2 cards. It's just that Cleansing Wildfire is one of those cards as a land, and it gets to go into play.
Yeah.
They're awesome. If you don't like casting these cards, this is not the deck for you.
Correct.
Cleansing Wildfire is, with a great deal of consistency, the best thing you can do on turn 2. Fanatical Offering and I don't know. These cards have been around for a while. I think everybody kind of knows.
They're good.
They're very good. Yeah. Sacrifice an Ichor Wellspring, draw 3 cards, live, laugh, love.
That's how our buddy Austin mulled the 3 with Black White Blade, and he kept land, Ichor Wellspring, draw 2 effect.
Yeah.
And he ripped the land, and he's like, I undid my mulligan from 3.
It's really, really good. And honestly, that's part of the another one of the appeals of this deck is like, it's full of hopium. Like, the board state can look horrendous. You can have no cards in hand, but if the top card of your library is an Ichor Wellspring, and then you play it and draw a Fanatical Offering, you're right back in this thing. You're never out of it. You can start this ridiculous sequence by cycling a landscape. Like, the hopium is unreal. You can have anything. The top of your deck can be anything. It can even be a draw 2. You can go from no cards in hand to 5 cards in hand like very, very quickly by chaining these together. A very common play pattern, again, if you haven't played with it very much, Fanatical Offering, sack something to make a map, and then just keep sacking those maps to other Fanatical Offerings. It's just free at that point. Another thing you can do, I'm kind of getting ahead of, but like with Krark Clan Shaman and Chrysalis, you can card type wash spawn tokens from Fanatical Offering into a map, which ups your artifact count for Krark Clan Shaman because those spawns are about to die anyway. So if you're gearing up for a big Krark turn and you have these spawns lying around, they're about to die. Even if you say already have an Ichor Wellspring in play, it can be kind of like you're going to sacrifice that to Krark anyway, so the number of cards you're drawing from that are not changing. It can be like spawns are one of the like after Ichor Wellspring, spawns are probably the best thing to sacrifice to these Fanatical Offerings.
That makes sense.
Just up your artifact count by 1. That's
yes, yeah. You're like you're like, I was trying to think of a better way to say like whitewashing. Like you're
whitewashing.
Well, that's the term. You're like turning your creature into an artifact to up the amount of things you have to sack to Krark Clan Shaman.
Artifact washing.
You're at the laundromat in some capacity.
You're at the laundromat.
Column 5, interaction. So
the Krarks in this column?
Yeah, so 3 Krarks, 2 Toxin, 1 Makeshift Munitions, and the 4 Cast Downs. Cast Down, nothing really to say. It's still the best removal spell. If you're quaking in your boots because there's a bunch of Guardian of the, or what is it called?
Guardian
Guild Pact. Yeah, which there are online right now. There's a bunch of those running around. You can start to play some Terminates. I would play them in the board in addition to the Cast Downs instead of them.
There was a list that it was either the top 8 list or the top 16 list from the Showcase Challenge, the Jund list, that had an Extracted Confession in their main deck because of all the Guardians running around.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't hate that.
Yeah. I mean, it was a mirror match that split finals or played placed first and second in the Showcase finals.
Good against the mirror
with
too.
The Selesnya Gates deck.
Oh yeah.
So like it's around.
But yeah, Cast Down is a 4 of because it's just the most versatile removal spell you can play in that slot. Previously, we have played Galvanic Blast because you do have the artifact density to support it. It's just that unlike Grixis, you don't really have the closing power to back up the 4 damage to the face mode.
Yeah, the speed is not there.
You just never end up doing that, and you would rather your limited number of straight up removal spells be as flexible as possible.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Makeshift Munitions is a card you kind of look to side out a lot, but the matchups where it's good, you like against Grixis and the other slop decks, it's probably the card you want to draw the most, after turn 5 or so. It's just
No, that card's incredible every time.
It's
Almost every time.
very, very powerful.
Good against the X1 decks too. Fairies, elves, obviously.
Oh yeah, if you're playing against fairies and they ever tap out, you should not do anything other than cast a makeshift munitions if you have it in your hand, because game 1 they straight up cannot beat it and will lose that game with almost 100% certainty. And post board, their only hope is to blue blast it once it's hit the board.
Yeah.
It's a good if they're adding blue blasts to your 3-color deck, your like primarily black interaction deck, then it's good against Krark. It's like fine against Wildfire, but like. Well, no, you probably aren't playing Krark after that.
Yeah, I don't even. Yeah, that's the whole thing, because like fairies knows you're bringing in red blast, so I don't know if they're bringing in blue blast. Like how many of them they're bringing? I don't know.
Well, maybe because you're probably bringing
I've
in
never
breath
played
weapons.
fairies in my life.
You're bringing in breath weapons too. So I guess
so their blue blaster are literally to counter the cards that lose them the game.
Yes,
which is good.
So makeshift munitions is one of those cards. So there you go. But yeah, game 1, I think they straight up don't have a way to interact with it. So if it ever hits the board, you just get to like, turn your blood fountains into arc lightnings they can't counter, or forked bolts that they can't counter.
Arc lightning.
And then yes, Krark Clan Shaman plus Toxin Analysis. If you are new around these parts, Krark Clan Shaman is a red mana for a 1/1 that says sacrifice an artifact. This creature deals 1 damage to each creature without flying. Toxin Analysis is an instant that costs black and says target creature gets death touch and lifelink until end of turn. Create a clue token or investigate or whatever it says. The joke is that if you give Krark Clan Shaman death touch, when you sacrifice a artifact like the clue token that Toxin Analysis helpfully provided, or like 30 other cards in your deck, it will deal 1 damage of death touch to every non-flying creature on the battlefield and kill them all. And also it has lifelink, so you get to gain a nice chunk of life.
It's a good joke.
It's what's up?
It's a good joke.
It's hilarious.
Never
the punchline just never unfunny. Unless you're sitting across from it, it probably sucks there.
It does. Yeah.
So Krark Toxin is very good. It's also very situational. 3/2 is a split I really like. If you're in a metagame that's really weak to it, you can play 4/4. I don't know. Go nuts.
I think Grixis is currently on 3/3, I do believe.
Yeah.
wow.
Are they still playing the Hunter's Blowguns?
No.
Okay.
Rod is kind of taking over that.
Yeah, and sewer cam.
Well,
and sewer cam.
Okay.
Well, I'm saying
not the functionality.
There's like the physical cards, like those are the cards that are taking spots.
So Jund and Grixis are the 2 big Krark Clan Shaman Toxin Analysis decks of the format. They're very good, but again, they're very situational. There are a lot of decks where, so like I think the one that comes to mind is like specifically Blue Terror, where in theory, playing a 1/1, giving it death touch, sacrificing something to like kill a couple of 5/5 sounds really good, but the reality is that you have 3 of one of these cards and 2 of the other. It's hard to put together without drawing a bunch of cards first. And so 1, you might be dead by then, and 2, even if you do assemble it, they're a deck that plays the card counterspell, so even if you do assemble it, you might not be able to actually get it off, and then you die. It's at its best against generally speaking, green decks. So Spy and Elves are the 2 big ones that come to mind. I guess Gruul, Ramp / Ponza, but
sure, why not? Right?
Yeah, that in case it didn't already get kicked in the nuts enough by anything else that's going on in a game.
White Weenie doesn't kill the core Skyfishers, but
pretty good against that. It's
or the Battle Screech
also,
tokens, but that's fine.
It is a way to deal with a bunch of stuff from one of the latest darlings, Monstertron. It's a pretty good way to answer a Maelstrom Colossus.
Yeah.
That answers everything. It's basically not the kill ship.
Yeah. Or if they're playing like the Wretched Gryphs.
Sure. The blue version has a lot of flyers. I guess. Yeah. It can kill Mirror Shell Crab.
So anyway, it's
point
it's
against
very
Mirror
good.
Shell Crab.
It's write that down.
Write that down.
I would like to cycle this Mirror Shell Crab to counter 1 activation counter one activation of this Krark Clan Shaman, please.
Better hope
Hey,
that's not the
I
right
will
artifact.
say they
That's the
probably
right
won't see it
artifact.
coming.
Yeah, you're right.
They better not have
You're
another
right.
artifact.
Or 3 mana.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like it does very powerful things, but it's not. It definitely plays into that hopium, aspect of like, oh, this board state looks so bad for me. But what if I draw Krark Toxin?
God, you and I have talked about this particular, what's the word I'm looking for? Contingency on what having packages in the deck. This being the package that kind of over duress, basically. Because we've talked about duress in the main deck versus this.
Yes,
for essentially, it's the. Which is better in the scenarios where they are good.
Yeah. So that's definitely been played before where like these slots, like this deck. So right now it plays 4 Duress in the sideboard. Duress and Krark Clan Shaman are basically good against opposite types of decks. Believe it or not.
The first thing I thought was
Duress
Fog.
answers non-creature cards.
Yeah.
Krark Clan Shaman kills creatures.
Crazy.
I know, right?
Insane.
If your metagame is full of decks that Duress is really good against, and more importantly, doesn't have very many of those decks that Krark Clan Shaman is good against, which mostly speaking would be like creature aggro, so like Red Rally and White Weenie, and then big green decks that are playing a bunch of non-flying creatures. So again, like Spy and Elves are the ones that come to mind. If you're not seeing a lot of those, it is completely reasonable to cut Toxins and or Krarks from the main entirely. I would be kind of hard pressed to want to not play them in the sideboard either, but again, they're like, it's not very good in maybe as many scenarios as I think some people think. Like against Red Madness is one that comes to mind. It's like Krark just kind of sucks there.
Yeah.
Yes, you can kill a Gutter Snipe by sacrificing 2 artifacts, but you're dead already.
Yeah.
And honestly, Toxin's not even that good because
It'll never
the
resolve.
best thing you can hope to do with it is like put it on a Chrysalis after you attack
There
and
you
gain
go.
4 to 5 life.
Yeah.
And
Which game 1 is relevant.
yeah,
It's
it
not
kinda
good.
It trades with quote unquote it trades with a lightning bolt, but one, if you're attacking with a Chrysalis, you're probably already winning, and two, like a little bit of life gain is not how you win against Madness, because they're not a burn deck in the sense that they're like turn 1 Goblin Guide, turn 2 double Lava Spike you, where like that, like any amount of life gain helps. They're more of an engine burn deck of like, it might not do anything until turn 5, and then they slam Gutter Snipe and go like Lightning Bolt, double Lava Dart, Fire Blast, and like 4 life doesn't matter at all, because yeah, you might like survive that initial onslaught, but then they're gonna just play a bunch of draw 2s and continue to kill you, and you haven't answered the real problem.
And God forbid they removal check you, and you don't have the
yeah.
removal.
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh crap! You're not supposed to play that on turn 3. What are you doing? I'm a cast down deck.
Yep.
And you don't have the cast
draw
down.
the cast down.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't. So yeah, Krark Toxin, it's very powerful. Sometimes actually you will side out just the Toxin, but not the Krark. So examples that come to mind are White Weenie, where they're basically never going to play a ground creature with more than like 2 or 3 toughness. Like Leonardo's an X3, right?
I think everything's an X3.
Chocobob's
A little
3/3.
bit. Oh, right, the Chocobo too.
Everything's an X3. There's nothing
You
better than that.
basically, I don't know, a couple life from Toxin doesn't really help all that much, and the Death Touch, like, you never need to sacrifice more than 3 things, and sometimes you wipe their board by sacrificing 2, so the Death Touch is not particularly helpful, and you would just rather bring in other stuff that you don't necessarily need the Toxin for. Plus, Toxin Krark, not to get like too much into White Weenie right now, but like Toxin Krark doesn't help you at all against the draws that you are weakest to, which are turn 4
Battle
Screech, flashback Battle Screech, turn 5 attack Guardian's Pledge.
Yeah.
That is how that deck beats you with the most consistency. So yeah, Krark Toxin, very good. Also, kind of fragile / like it's not the be all end all of solutions to all of life's problems, unfortunately. Sometimes you have to go see a therapist.
Sometimes.
Get in your mic. Get in your mic.
Column 6. What?
You're talking here.
No, he's
first.
fine. He's
Oh,
fine.
okay, my
That's
bad,
why
my bad,
that's
my
why
bad.
I just suggested.
Okay, my bad.
Thomas
my
has
bad.
got the touch.
Yeah, he does.
Column 6. Creatures. Yay!
Whoa, we have those?
Actual threats?
Actual ways to win the game. Save the best for last. 4 Refurbs, 4 Chrysalis, 2 Gixian Infiltrators, and 1 Nyxborn Hydra.
I love the Hydra.
The Hydra is sick. Honestly, this is a card that you can play 0 of, you can play 1 of, you can play 2 of. Probably don't need to play more than that.
4.
Probably unnecessary.
Play a different deck.
Hydra is kind of the same card as Makeshift Munitions in that it's best in the slop mirrors where, again, you're playing against Grixis or Jund or whatever. Like, it represents you need to have 2 removal spells now. Like, yes, your Chrysalis probably has the most power on board, and it's tempting to want to put it there. But if you have 10 mana, you're probably better off putting the Hydra on a spawn token or a refurb or something like that and forcing your opponent to use a real removal spell on the Hydra twice.
You're spreading out your threats.
Yes, yeah.
Don't
You're
put all your eggs in
diversifying your
one
portfolio
basket.
like a good stockbroker.
Yeah, exactly. Don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Yes, or you'll drop that basket.
Exactly.
For refurb, is not much to say. I kind of still contend this is the most impactful card from Modern Horizons 3. Like, it and Chrysalis are right on each other's heels, but man, it's hard to pass up a 1 mana 2/1 flyer that is guaranteed to present card advantage by discarding them a card.
I think at this point, not to derail too much, but I think Sneaky Snacker might have the
Yeah.
I think the
Or it's at least
currently in the way things currently sit.
Yeah.
I think Sneaky
People are
Snacker.
playing
It's
a lot
very
of that
much
right
in the
now.
discussion. It's at least like on par, if not like.
I think
could
all
have
3
that
of those
top
are just
spot.
biting at each other.
Yeah.
Don't worry. It won't be long before Jund starts to play Sneaky Snacker, so it can say it plays all the best Modern Horizons 3
Yeah,
cards.
for real.
Like, just starts
That'd
to
be
play
fun.
like the Moxitan in the deck.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of
Well, that's
funny.
not an MH3 card, so.
No, but I'm saying, like, if you wanted to
enable it.
facilitate
Yeah.
the
Maybe.
snacker.
Yeah, refurb, it slices, it dices. It's a better blocker than it is an attacker for this deck, certainly. But yeah, it's real good. Chrysalis, this whole podcast could be about Writhing Chrysalis. I and many people have a lot of questions about this card. Like, why is it devoid so I can't counter it with a blue blast? Why
If you're
is
Devin, you
reach
can.
the most perfect keyword for this card?
That they've stuck
Why
on the
does-
bottom of the card.
It's third, not fourth.
Is it not the bottom? I thought it was the
The
actual.
bottom is the sacrifice trigger.
Oh, apologies.
It's
Yes, but yes, there's not too many cards with creatures with keywords that are the third line of text on the card.
Right.
Why does it make the spawns on cast? I mean, I know it's an Eldrazi, but it's just like, why does countering it not work as well as it should? Why does that last ability not just trigger when I sacrifice spawns for mana, but why does it also trigger when I sacrifice a spawn to a Fanatical Offering? Why does it also trigger when I sacrifice another Chrysalis to a Fanatical Offering? Why does it trigger when my opponents make me sacrifice a Chrysalis and if I have another one on the board, it still gets a counter?
It's incredible.
Why is this card so good? I think that Jund, if nothing else, is the best Writhing Chrysalis deck.
100%.
Not even necessarily that it's the best deck that plays Writhing Chrysalis, but it utilizes the card better than any other deck. Again, you look at something like Gruul, Ramp, Ponzo, whatever you want to call it. It can play a turn 2 Chrysalis, but it's mostly used there as just like a beat stick plus mana acceleration. It's that in this deck. It's also used a lot more on defense in Jund because, again, it's very rare that you're the beatdown early. But also using the spawns not just as mana but as sacrifice fodder for your Deadly Dispute effects is really, really powerful. Like, the ideal hand in a vacuum with this deck is like turn 1 Bridge, turn 2 Wildfire, turn 3 Chrysalis. But casting Chrysalis on 5 mana instead of 4 is sometimes almost better because if you can leave up a black source, you can get into the scenario where it's like, okay, I've cast a Chrysalis, I can hold up with these spawns now, I can hold up Cast Down / Fanatical Offering, the classic control deck of like, hold up interaction, if you don't do anything, okay, I'll cast my card draw spell. And using those spawns as sacrifice fodder for your Fanatical Offering is some of the best stuff you can do. You can tap your land, sack a spawn for mana, and sack the other spawn. Now your Chrysalis is in 4/5
Or if they just go to
mode.
kill your Writhing Chrysalis, you can just
Or
sack it
that's
too.
the other thing is if they beep, 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 Chrysalis alert, busted card alert, gotta kill that guy, and they go to kill it, you go, cool, sack a spawn, sack the Chrysalis, a Fanatical Offering, I still get value off it, and I got this other spawn hanging around for later. This deck uses Writhing, like it uses every part of the Buffalo. I think better than any other deck that is playing it right now, which is not a whole lot, which is kind of shocking.
Yeah, Crystal Stonks are a little low, especially with all the flipping snackers running around and
Yeah.
Guardian of the Guild packs running around.
Yeah.
Because the spawns...
Time for Writhing Crystals to come back.
Yeah, because the freaking spawns can block the crap out of Guardian, so it can buy you time.
Yeah, as long as they haven't found their armadillo cloaks, that is one of the better ways to answer a Guardian of the Guild pack is, just kind of doing the same impression that you do in front of Terror, where it's just like block and sack, and now my Chrysalis is too big.
Yeah, yep, exactly.
Gixian Infiltrator is currently my favorite card in the list. It is not a turn 2 play, so when I said earlier, I don't remember if turn 2 is the most important turn in the deck. Like, we can talk maybe more about mulligans in a bit, but like, if your hand doesn't have a play on turn 2, meaning like Ichor Wellspring, Cleansing Wildfire, Lembas, that's kind of what I'm talking about.
Or Furby, too. It's pretty common.
That's the thing, though, is like a turn 2 Furby is okay, but playing it early is not super helpful for you because it's not providing a lot of they have
more options to discard it.
Yeah, it's like the discard isn't as helpful because it's really early, so they have more options. The 2-power attacker is not super relevant to your game plan in the vast majority of matchups, and it's not helping you get your little slop engine going in the same way that now I've played my Ichor Wellspring, so my Fanatical Offerings are online.
I think I might be a little fog pilled in that scenario where I'm like, okay, if I literally can't cast my draw twos until I cast a fog.
Right.
Because I'm not trying to go to discard, and I'm so I can't lose a card if I go in the discard in the early game. Like, that's just a no-no.
Yeah.
So.
There are definitely matchups where it can be good, but if your hand is turn 2 Refurbished Familiar and then kind of nothing after that, don't keep that hand. And similarly, I don't really think you should count Gixian Infiltrator as a quote-unquote turn 2 play, because usually when you play it on turn 2, your opponent will just kill it.
Yeah. It's a naked 2/1.
Yeah, yeah. Like, dice removal is not the most convincing argument in the world. I get it, but it's a considerably better card to cast on turn 6 when you have 2 Fanatical Offerings up, or it's at its best the turn after, or the same turn immediately after you cast a Writhing Chrysalis, because those 2 spawns are 2 free sacrifices.
Well, you talk about its combo, the deck's combo too.
That's true.
Yep, getting there.
Yeah.
It is also a combo with Krark Clan Shaman. Honestly, Gixian Infiltrator is more of a toxin analysis substitute than you might expect. If you're unfamiliar with how the intricacies of this works, if you have a Krark Clan Shaman and a Gixian Infiltrator in play, you activate Krark Clan Shaman one time by sacrificing an artifact. The Krark Clan Shaman ability is on the stack. Gixian Infiltrator has seen that artifact you've sacrificed, so it triggers to put a +1/+1 counter on itself after the fact, and so it resolves on the stack before the Krark Clan Shaman ability does, meaning you will always have one more toughness than the amount of Krark Clan Shaman activations you put on the stack.
So it works for no matter how many times you activate the Krark Clan Shaman.
Yes. So if you sacrifice 5 things, you'll have 5 interspersed Gixian Infiltrator triggers where it'll get a counter and then you'll deal damage. Then you'll get a counter and deal a damage. Why is this relevant? Well, 1, it's really cool. 2, one of the weaknesses of Krark Toxin, even in matchups where it's really good, like against Elves is a really good example. They do the Elves thing. They spew out a bunch of little dudes. It's turn 4, and they've put 7 creatures in play. And you go, ha a Krark Clan Shaman, a Toxin analysis. You're donezo, Buster Brown.
Yeah.
And they go, oh no. Anyway, untap, Winding Way, draw 4 creatures, put 3 into the battlefield. Your go. And you're right back where you started.
How do they do that without a Priest Titanium play?
Basic Forest.
Oh, I forgot about that card.
Yeah, you should play a few of those.
Yeah. A couple land grants, too.
Yeah. Depends who you ask.
And so, basically, that's a very roundabout way of saying sometimes Krark Toxin will wipe the board, but you won't have the follow-up to start pressuring your opponent before, because again, they're best against those green decks, and what do the green decks like to play is Winding Way and Lead the Stampede, where it's a very realistic outcome that they just refill their hand and start puking guys back onto the battlefield before you can untap and play your Writhing Chrysalis and start attacking again. So what Gixian allows you to do is Gixian, Krark, and Toxin Analysis, not a combo. Gixian will die. It has to have touch on the Krark Clan Shaman.
Yes.
But if they have, again, if it's Elves and they have a bunch of, nothing with more than 3 toughness, you go Krark, Gixian. If you have a Gixian in play and you go Krark, sacrifice, 5 things or whatever, wipe your board, and then attack with Gixie and Infiltrator. 1, you've now started applying pressure that if they're going to spend their turn drawing creatures and putting a bunch of 1/1s back into play, you have already started attacking your life total and can kind of keep up the pressure to close out the game. And 2, again, one of the best tools that these decks have against you is Avenging Hunter, the initiative. And again, Krark Toxin does not, help in that scenario where it's like, okay, you've wiped the board, but they're still progressing down this stupid little dungeon. You will lose to that.
I can't cast down the dungeon. I can't Krark Clan it. I can't duress the dungeon.
It's so dumb.
God.
I can't naturalize this dungeon even though it looks like an artifact.
Yeah.
Gixie and and take the initiative, and then the ball's in their court to try and take it back. And so it helps you close out. Again, it's almost like a toxin analysis substitute, more so than its own thing. It's also very, very good on its own. Everything in this deck triggers it. Sacking something to one of your deadly disputes, cracking a landscape, cracking a map, puts a counter on it, and then if the explorer reveals a non-land, it gets a second counter. It's awesome. Sacking spawns for mana or to a deadly dispute, all put counters on it. So it is a very good card in the deck. Yeah, it grows very, very, very quickly, but don't think of it as a turn 2 play, because when your opponent lava darts it, you will want to cry.
Yeah.
Okay, that was it. That was 60 cards. Sideboard for Duress. I love Duress. It's so good. It shores up all your bad matchups and is even good in some of the good ones.
I think so. This is actually one reason to play Jund over Grixis is I think it has a much better combo matchup.
Yes,
because
certain combos.
Yes, I think overall, like the combos where particular non-creatures, obviously non-creatures,
yes.
Non-creature spells. Because I don't have access to that as like a Grixis player. That's one of the benefits of playing this.
Yeah, Grixis is better.
You could, but I don't think the way your deck lines up, I just don't think necessarily that Duress is a card you're super interested in all the time. Yeah. Whereas this deck is interested in almost all the time.
So like an example,
because we were talking earlier, it's like this is a card you would even consider playing in your main deck because this is a more controlling deck than Grixis is.
Sure.
So I just don't think that you need it.
You'd rather have the super streamlined specific interaction and deal with it when they get there and spend the time setting up versus the reverse of Jund, I guess is what we're saying, where Duress is better here. You can get the thing out of the way to give you time to set up for the late game.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
I think I've played Duress and Grixis sideboards before, but I think it's better here.
Okay.
Yeah. It Duress comes in way more matchups than you'd expect. You can bring it against Madness because if you Duress away their draw 2s, they're a deck full of 3-mana lightning bolts and uncastable sneaky snackers. You bring it against
Ideally, we sided out your fiery tempers because they suck. But
it's obviously very good against blue decks trying to cast counterspell because you get to counter a counterspell for 1 mana and also see their hand. It's good against the other slop decks because if you can Duress a Ichor Wellspring against something like Fog or Pestilence or Grixis, and they have a bunch of deadly disputes that suddenly don't really function, that's how you win those matchups.
It's not a great plan, but it's a plan.
Oh, it's better than the alternative.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like it's not ideal, but you gotta do something.
Duress, just extremely flexible card. Again, usually if you're at a matchup where you think you should be siding out Krark Clan Shaman, that usually means you should be siding in Duress and vice versa.
Fog seems like the perfect example for that.
Yes,
that's what I thought of. When
that
you
is.
said that.
I'll steal this bit from the guide. I think the Walker's exact words are: as soon as you figure out game 1 your opponent is playing Fog, concede the game and go to sideboard so you can get your Duresses.
Damn,
that is. Like game 1, again, there's so much hopium in this deck. You might think you have a chance, you don't.
God, we talked about that when forever ago when we played. I think that was the same game you begged me to cast a stream of thought, but that was something. Was that different?
Else.
God, we played this matchup a few.
That was the one time you were playing Grixis, wasn't it?
Yes, that was when I was playing Grixis.
Okay, that was.
This was at game night at one of the Team Trios events where I Duressed like an Ichor Wellspring and 2 Fanatical Offerings, and you're we could play this game, and then I ripped the nuts, which was my own Ichor Wellspring into a deadly dispute and went off to town.
And we drew.
But legitimately though, if you're playing against Fog and it's game 1 and they have 5 lands in play and they're not dead yet, you can't win. Yeah. You might think you can win, and I'm going to top deck a makeshift munitions, and then they'll kill them through their fogs, and you're going to cast it, and they're going to go, huh. Anyway, Fog and Fanatical Offering and Weather the Storm for 12.
Yeah.
And then that's just going to happen. Yep. And you will not win. So go to sideboarding, immediately grab the duresses. It's so funny, like playing against that deck. I played against it at JC's, and like it's turn 14. I have one other card in hand, but I'm thinking to myself multiple times, like, you know what I really want to draw right now? Duress. Knowing what's in their hand. I mean, at that point in the game, how much life is a single Tangle worth? Like 30 something. When you have like a Gixian, a Hydra up something, and 2 Chrysalis in play, like a Duress is a huge swing for you in terms of being able to actually win the game. Anyway, Duress, very, very good. 3 Pyroblasts, bring it in against blue decks. Moving on.
Crazy.
3 Weather the Storm, good against
I've seen a lot of lists up to 4 as well recently too.
You can play 4, you can play 3, you can play 2, you can play none if you're feeling froggy. I don't know.
I wouldn't recommend playing.
I think you should play some
Here's
number
the
of
thing.
them.
Weather the Storm is sometimes not as good as I think it looks. I don't know. I'll talk about
I mean,
Madness a little bit in a second.
good Madness players can
That's
play
the thing,
around it
is
too.
Any
That's the
Madness
thing.
player worth their salt will play circles around your Weather the Storm.
Yeah.
2 Breath Weapon, very good. Just kind of, it's one of those cards that you usually only need to find the one you have some time, but to find it against like fairies and White Weenie, but it's very good to have access to. And then another Spell Bomb, kind of already talked about that a lot. And then a split of Troublemaker Oof and Heritage Reclamation as 2 naturalizes out of the board. I really like Heritage Reclamation as just, you get free upside against like Spy.
Yeah.
But Troublemaker Oof does have its own upsides. You can pick it back up off Blood Fountain, and the Exile does come up specifically against like a Kenku animated bridge. That's really your only answer to that, is the main thing. Heritage Reclamation is better in other scenarios. Obviously, it being an instant is really good against like Nyxborn Hydra. You don't get to let them attack before you get to deal with it. And again, the Graveyard Exile upside is really nice against the big graveyard decks. But Troublemaker Oof exiling, if your Grixis or Mardu synth opponent misses their 3rd land drop, and you've got a Troublemaker Oof in hand, can confirm blowing up that bridge feels real good.
Yeah, I'm sure it does.
In general, I don't actually like the idea of exiling a bridge is very, very tantalizing against those kinds of decks. Don't just fire it off willy-nilly because you can, because you're not fast enough to really capitalize on that. So by the time turn 10 rolls around, you stone raining them one time probably will not matter anymore, and you need to save it as a silver bullet for like a Nyxborn Hydra. A Makeshift Munitions is a big one. Again, a Kenku Artificer animated bridge. So definitely save it, but as soon as they miss their 3rd land drop, fire it off. It feels really, really
We had
good.
that same conversation with Gardens last week where it was just, okay, I made them, I stone rained them once and they continued to play lands. It's like, what's the point of that?
Yeah.
I'm not killing them till later.
Yep. So that's the list. The newer lists that I've seen more recently, I've played more Gixians. That's what we were talking about earlier. They've played up to 4 Gixians. That's just a metagame call. Cards that I didn't mention, but the deck has played in the past and are worth talking about. Pulse of Maraska and Crypt Incursion. I hate them. They just did not jive with me. Yeah. They're good. Pulse of Maraska being more main deck life gain. I don't know. Pay 7 mana to cast a Writhing Crystal. It's just like, it's okay. It's fine. It's never card advantage. It's like really funny if you put a Lotless Giant in your opponent's hand.
I was fixated. That has come up. That's really fun.
I've done that before, but it's just like, it feels really clunky otherwise.
You pay 9 mana for a Writhing Crystal is better though? A Blood Fountain?
Yeah, because you could play 2 of them.
Oh, good point. Duh.
The 6, I don't know. It's just like a big chunk of life that, again, against like something like Madness, it just feels like they're going to work through that. It just might take them another turn. Crypt Incursion is just a bunch of life, which can be good, but again, it's felt a little clunky to me. You can play them; they're fine if you like them. Snuff Out is the most important card that's not currently played right now. That was a big part of of this deck's rise to prominence against Glee. Is that you're an artifact deck? You're like an artifact land deck, like Grixis, but because you get to play 3 Swamp, 4 Twisted Landscape, and 4 Cleansing Wildfires, you could reliably cast Snuff Out for its alternate mode, which is probably the best card in the format against creature combo. unless that creature happens to be black. But
Oh crap.
If we blink in 3 weeks from now, it's like it's Tireless Tribes world and we're just living in it, then expect stuff out to start making an appearance.
Yeah,
back in the
I think that might be Guardian of the Guild pack, but I digress.
Well,
I think that's the
stuff
world.
out doesn't really help there.
I know that's why I said, but I digress.
But yeah, just it's a very, very powerful tool that's just not been particularly relevant for the past, like basically since Brood-Scale's been banned. And then emblem dudes, so like Throne of Black Rose and Avenging Hunter. If your metagame is full of slop decks, like again the Mirror, Grixis, etc., one of the ways to really slam a game shut is to introduce the Monarch when your opponent has no creatures in play. It's real good.
Yeah.
If your metagame is full of Rally and Fairies and Mono White, don't do that.
Yeah, it's actively bad because you have a hard
You
time
will
getting
actively
it back.
lose the game faster.
Yeah, introducing the mechanic when you can't really get it back can be scary.
Okay, so out of what I'm going to call the top of the metagame, like the most likely decks you are to run into against, which I'm calling Mono Red Madness, Mono Blue Terror, Spy, even though I was looking on Goldfish the other day and nobody's playing Spy, it's a good deck. People should play it. Grixis, which is also kind of a stand-in for the slot mirrors, and Gates. There's just a lot of Gates running around, so I'm just going to kind of lump all that in together. Mono Red Madness is your worst out of all those matchups. Part of the reason why I did so well a month ago is because not a single time did I play against it. And also, I think in all three of those events, I was the only person playing Jund. I get it. It's hard to stay awake, but like, deck is good, guys.
Yeah.
I am a believer, don't worry.
Oh, I know. No, you were too busy playing something
Splendor.
else.
Fair.
No, you were at JC's.
I was at JC's. That deck was
And
not
didn't
nearly.
you go to game night for the Win a Duel?
I played Mono
Yeah.
White that time though.
Yeah.
And to be fair, if this
the
deck
arms of
isn't
Vidar
your
Splash?
speed, it's very it can be hard to play.
Oh, legitimately, yeah. It's a snooze fest. but
it is
it's
incredibly
legit hard to play.
Um,
If you're not good at these kind of decks, it's not gonna favor you. It
No.
doesn't,
Yeah.
it doesn't give you like any breaks like a deck like Spy or Madness would.
That's the thing is I think some people think that like, oh, you're a deck that's trying to play like 16 turn games, which means like every individual mistake, like it can be more forgiving because their game will go longer and like you take more game actions. But I find it's the opposite where like
agree.
like you'll play a 16 turn game and then go, oh dang, I messed up back on turn 4. I like sacrificed the wrong thing to Fanatical Offering and therefore it took longer to blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
Or like I didn't leave up mana when I should have, and I didn't extract the maximum amount of value from my Deadly Dispute effect, or like something like that. And so, if that like annoys you and you can't move past that, that's really hard to get over.
Or if you like that crap too, like getting better about that stuff.
Yeah. No, yeah. If you don't like, if you hate that and don't like it, then don't play it. But if you want to get better at that, then this is
It can be really hard to try and pinpoint what those things are too, especially in a long game
Yes.
deck like this
You
where
have
it
to
could be so many different points.
You have to be honest with yourself about where could I have messed up? Like what was the mistake?
And yeah, it is like one of those things where if you lose a long game, chances are you probably did mess up somewhere.
Yeah.
It's not like
That's the
it's
other
hard
part
to
of it. Is like there's
spy,
always when you play those long games, there's room for improvement almost everywhere. It's very difficult to say, I made 100 decisions this game and every single one of them was right.
Exactly.
Like you're a liar.
It-
I would
you-
be lying if I said that.
If-
I screw stuff up all the time, but you have to be willing to like look at that honestly.
Yeah.
And not just like, oh, well, I don't know. It just didn't matter. It went on for so long anyway, or whatever.
Spy can protect your ego where it's like, I can't believe I only hit one creature off Lead the Stampede, or I can't believe my Malevolent Rumble milled my swamp. So you can like lie to yourself and pretend like, like you can lie to yourself.
You really think Spy plays Malevolent Rumble, don't you?
Oh, god damn it. Winding Way. It's just peeing and sitting and standing and peeing all over again.
So anyway,
for the time traveler.
Mono Red Madness is your worst matchup. It's that you just don't. They don't really care about what you're doing very much. It's not so much that you can't have the right answers for what they're doing. It's just that you can sideboard in a bunch of cards that are good against them, and they can just have. They can present two extremely different draws against you. Like you can have a hand that's got some life gain that's against it, and they just do nothing on turn 1 or 2. Turn 3, Gutter Snipe, turn 4 gutter snipe, lightning bolt, fire blast or whatever, and your little bit of life gain just doesn't matter because you can't interact with the gutter snipe that's killing you. Likewise, you can keep a hand that's got couple of cast downs for their gutter snipes, and they just go turn 1 mountain pass, turn 2 grab the prize, discarding sneaky snacker. And I mean, again, I would rather concede than cast down a sneaky snacker, and you might have to, but that feels atrocious.
And those hits from sneaky snacker in that deck matter a lot.
Yes,
they do.
It's sneaky snacker is a real you can't just say Chrysalis is a good card here because it's good in a lot of situations, but people know that, and they are planning to beat Chrysalis in one way or another. So you can't just say, oh, well, the Chrysalis blocks the sneaky snacker. Like, they'll deal with it, and then that sneaky snacker will kill you. But again, same thing. You could keep a hand that's full of Nihil spell bombs to deal with their sneaky snackers and like lava darts.
You just have to have things lined up correctly.
Yeah, you have answers to what they're trying to do, but they can just present something that those answers don't deal with in any capacity. So that's your worst matchup.
So how do you win that game, would you say, then?
You
have your things lined up correctly.
Your things lined up better.
So you're bringing duress.
You're bringing in duress to try to take their draw twos. You're bringing in the other spell bomb to hit, because that's the best way you have to answer sneaky snacker. You're bringing in another trap is don't keep a bad hand just because it has Weather the Storm. Because, again, those situations where you're like, I'm going to play some spells, they'll play some spells, then I'll weather and gain 15. That never happens. A halfway decent Madness player will dance circles around that Weather the Storm. You have to be willing to just accept one for 6 or 9 life and move on, because you have other stuff to cast with your mana.
Such a high damage cap, too.
Absolutely. That's the other thing. It's just a decent sized chunk of life will not save you. It might buy you enough time to stabilize, and then your other cards will actually win the game, but it's kind of dicey.
Life plus clock.
Yes. Mono Blue Terror, I've heard some of the Jund heads out there claim this is an overwhelmingly favorable matchup to the point where they're cutting Red Blast. I don't believe that one bit. Every time I play against Mono Blue Terror, it feels extremely 50-50. Kind of similar reason where you can keep a hand that's full of, cast downs for their snakes, but then they just go turn 1 Delver, turn 2 Delver. And again, cast downing a Delver feels pretty terrible.
Okay.
Likewise, it's tough. It's a tough pill to swallow. And then likewise, you could keep, your best answer to Delver is Refurbish Familiar, because it discards a card out of their hand and then trades. You can keep some like refurbs or whatever, and they just have the super fast snake hand, and you don't have any graveyard hate, and you just die to that. Spy is your best matchup out of all these decks. Quark Clan Shaman just sits on the battlefield and forces them to watch it. It's just they're one of those decks that Krark-Clan Shaman is the best against.
Okay, but I'm starting to becoming more in the camp of proactively using your Krark-Clan Shaman in those matchups. I think are starting to be good, because if you give me all the time in the world, and
like Krark Toxin in particular,
because if you're saying
battlements.
You're waiting for me to cast Balustrade Spy, target myself, and you're going to pop your card.
Right. They're not obviously going to do that.
No, but they can post-board Acorn Harvest. So
that's the thing. Acorn Harvest, I think, is a legitimate answer to KCS. I am not a Fume Spitter believer. I think that sucks.
No, that card's terrible.
Acorn Harvest will get you... if you don't also have like a cast down in your hand, which is why you cannot sit there forever against Krark-Clan Shaman. You need to dig to either like find a Nihil Spellbomb as additional insurance, or you need to start playing Gixian. This is where like Gixian Infiltrator shines, like it and Chrysalis, where okay, you're off the toxin analysis plan, but sacrificing 4 things or whatever will kill all their stuff anyway, and then you can start bashing with your Chrysalis, and it's like and the Gixian Infiltrator again. It's interaction plus clock. You cannot just literally sit there forever.
Exactly. I think that obviously you're a more experienced Jund player, but maybe if their board has a bunch of Overgrowth Battlements and a ton of mana, I mean the deck is best when it has access to a ton of mana, because if they have the mana to float all this mana and then play the Spy and then have mana left over for creatures, that's how you lose, like we talked about.
Yes.
So maybe if you have 2 Krark-Clan Shamans, popping one proactively to kill their Overgrowth Battlements is not terrible, or if you have 2 Nihil Spell Bombs, maybe popping one then.
Yep. It just, you kind of got to get a feel for how the game is looking at that point.
Definitely. That one's interesting.
Grixis and the other slot mirrors, you're generally favored because, again, out of all those like other Ichor Wellspring decks, you tend to lean the slowest. Grixis, actually, it started out very, very favorable when the deck kind of first forked the path. Then they started playing a bunch of Black Mage's Rods, which is really, really, really bad for you. And then lately they've started cutting some for the Utrom monitors, which is better for you.
Unless you're Luffy. Because you're
obviously
just playing
Luffy
it all.
never loses. But yeah, so since Grixis has started playing just like a creature you can reliably cast down or block with a Chrysalis instead of like Black Mage's Rod is really good against you because it doesn't really die to removal. You just put it on something else and it's reach to damage you through an infinite number of blockers you might have.
Yeah.
So ultimately it's very close now.
I think it's pretty 50-50.
Yeah. But in general, against those other kinds of decks like, Mardu Synth, Boros, Moxite, stuff like that, you're favored because you're just going to generally go over the top of them. These are the kinds of matchups where like the Nyxborn Hydra and the Makeshift Munitions are really, really shining.
Like your fireballs.
Yeah, basically.
We need a Walker Luffy final.
Oh, that's probably happened.
Wow.
Quite a bit.
Come on, let's go.
Oh yeah, right here, right
wow.
now. No,
Right
it's not
here, right
kidding. I'm about to
Big
go to bed.
names to call both of you that.
Wow.
I
think those
Hippo
are
Do
also-
Chapeau Apollo.
Hippo do Shaboda.
Changing my Magic Online username now.
Oh, that's
Beautiful.
Oh my god,
They
that'd
let
be
you
so
do
funny.
that?
Huh?
They let you do that?
That's how I got the current one I have.
Yeah, they'll let you do it every once in a while.
You have to have a pretty good reason.
Yeah.
I gave them a good reason.
The slot beer matchups I think are also a note that's important here. Are the matchups where you really want to be conscious of your clock, of your time,
Yes.
because the game's gonna go long.
So yeah, one of the questions that like everybody asks is like, how does this deck win a match in time?
How do you not
I get
draw
it.
every
Like I
round?
said, a year ago, I drew 4 times in 2 events, and none of those were intentional. Part of it is you literally just have to play faster, like not even just making decisions faster, but like moving cardboard around, because you can tap all your mana every single turn and draw a bunch of cards. Like you have to be ready and willing to grab tokens, slam them down, draw cards, push stuff in your graveyard. Like do that with literal
Hey, I'm fighting my Scion
mechanical
tokens. It's your
speed.
turn.
Yes,
I have 2 signs.
exactly.
I'm gonna cleansing Wildfire.
Because
I'm gonna put
unlike
the land,
on
I'm gonna
Magic
draw my card, it's your
Online,
turn.
you share a clock.
If you are a mechanically slow Magic player, and you know who you are, I'm not trying to like throw shade. If you are a mechanically, physically slow Magic player, this is not the deck for you.
Yeah. Something I had to train myself to do was like, I hate it when people run through when I have priority. So I try to extend that, like in kind. Like I would tap 2 mana and play an Ichor Wellspring and look at my opponent, and they'd go, okay. And then I'd go trigger to draw, and they'd, okay. And then I would draw my card. If your opponent's not holding up blue mana, don't do that. Just 2 mana, Ichor, draw. Like if they're holding up white and black mana, they don't care about that. They're 90-something% of the time, they will not stop you.
If they
And
do, they're
you
gonna want to.
If
They'll
you are
let you know.
waiting, yes, and if you are waiting for them to verbally acknowledge a passive priority, for this deck takes too many game actions for you to get away with that. You just have to start doing stuff and kind of make them stop you.
Wait, are you telling me the paper chess clock could never work?
Yes.
I agree.
Yes, I am.
100%.
You do. I'm not very well suited to being like giving out the advice of like, call your opponent out on slow play, because I've never done. I can't do that. I just
You gotta get over
But
it.
like you do to an extent.
this
have to,
is a
like,
deck- this is a deck
encourage a
deal.
pace of play that encourages your opponent to keep up with you.
It's not a dick move. Like if you're at a big tournament and your goal is to win, and
Yes.
your opponent is eating up much of the time, like tanking every turn when they don't have that much reason to be tanking. It's not.
I feel
Hey, can you?
Also, this is the
I feel attacked.
not to think
Mm-hmm.
illy of people, but this is the kind of deck that makes people want to play slowly because they know they can draw the game.
Yeah. The burden is mostly on you, but you also have to encourage your opponent to kind of keep up. Because going back to the basic land choice, play whatever lands you can find the fastest, because between your landscapes and your wildfires, you will spend a lot of time looking for basic lands out of your deck, and you cannot waste a second. Cast Cleansing Wildfire, pass the turn, announce what you're getting, and say Wildfire, I'm going to grab a swamp and draw pass. While you're shuffling.
That works on turn 2 exactly, because then you can start drawing.
Yeah, if you don't have anything else to do,
Yeah.
I'm saying.
But
Like
any
if you
tip-
can, any amount of dead time you can cut, like cast Chrysalis, they might counter it while they're thinking about that. Grab your spawn tokens. Like you do need to play with a fervor, because again, it's not chess clock. You are on a shared 50 minutes.
It's a good microwave song.
Chess clock,
Fervor.
50 minutes.
Fervor's 2
Fervor's
in a red.
also a spell that
card.
an enchantment.
Yeah.
Gives all your creatures, all creatures haste.
I think it's your
It
creatures.
was all your creatures.
Yeah.
I thought it
And
was
then
all
last thing, kind of generally speaking,
Maybe
all
it's
these
all
gates
creatures.
decks, this is where you want to save your wildfires to answer their basilisk gates. Because usually,
Yes.
if they're not giving their 1/1s +7/+7, they're playing a mid-range deck full of 1/1s, and you can kind of handle the rest. But
Yeah.
this is the one matchup where it's very, very important to save your wildfires for those. It might be tempting to say the same thing about Tron, but some of these Tron decks just play so many ways to find those lands, like between Expedition Map, Crop Rotation, even just like the raw card draw of like Prophetic Prism and Candy Trail. Like you can maybe make them stumble for a turn, but you can't punish them fast enough for that to matter. They'll just find Tron the next turn. Like don't keep a bad hand because you're like, oh, I'm gonna wildfire their Urza's Tower, and then they won't do anything for the rest of the game. Nope, they'll find another one.
And guess
and then,
what?
and then you get stuck on 2. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
No, and you're giving them nothing but time. They don't even need Tron to cast their 6 and 7 drops eventually. They can just cast them because you're letting them get to 7, 8 lands.
Yeah.
Song's called Fever, not Fervor. I'm so sorry.
That was a completely
Brutal.
different word.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all I got. Q&A.
Wow.
What are you bad against?
Rad Madness.
Okay.
Madness.
And High Tide.
Phew! I guess like what's the number one, like what's the deck that you do not want to see across the table? Like number one you do not want to see.
Real talk, it's Fog. Like, again, it is statistically almost impossible for you to win game 1, and even though game 2 you get a lot better with bringing in those duresses, it's still an uphill battle.
And what's the number one deck you want to see? Like any creature based deck where Card Clan's good? Is it
Yeah,
Spy? Is it? Because Spy can cheese you.
Yeah, Spy can cheese you. It's definitely it's Gruul Ramp. It's they're weak to cast down, they're weak to Krark. Your Chrysalis can just like
Fair.
trade with their big payoff. Like, yeah, that's a pretty easy one. Oh, another really bad matchup is the Pestilence Gardens decks,
I
because
meant to
the
bring
cat
that up.
will jump in front of your Chrysalis ad infinitum. Now, here's the thing. I'm not saying I'm the greatest player in the entire world, but I am 3-0 against Pestilence Gardens in my lifetime. The key to winning this matchup is duress. It is like duress is really, 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 really good. Fire off those spell bombs aggressively to, like, if they try and bring back a cat and they don't have a second food in play to sacrifice, exile it.
Why are they doing that?
I don't. Good question. Now, all right, this is a fundamentally bad matchup. I'm 100% willing to chalk this up to, like, a month ago, the deck was still very new and there was a lot of people playing it that had not had a lot of reps with it. I do not count this as a good matchup. It's just kind of funny. But yeah, like spellbombing, this also applies against Fog. If they don't have 5 mana up and they have an Eviscerator's Insight in the yard, just spellbombing to eat that can be a very worthwhile play.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Answering the cast,
denying
bringing
your
in
two
your naturalizes, hitting their campfires is actually very good because that's just a huge amount of like time you've just cut off your clock.
Yeah.
It's not good, but it can be done.
I was gonna ask. I forgot to ask about that, but it seems like decks that just have more answers and you do threats
Yeah.
can just kind of
Yeah,
shut you up
it's
that
decks
way.
that play a bunch of It's like kind of the Gardens decks where it's like they have a bunch of answers, but they also play as much card draw as you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
and
something
not
like-
as many threats, so some of your interaction just becomes dead too.
Yeah. So, because
Yeah.
like on the other hand, it's like I think you're generally favored into blue control decks because Counterspell lines up extremely poorly against Chrysalis, and they can't answer all your threats and stop all your card draw at the same time. Like, black is the fundamental card draw color of Pauper, not blue, and you're basically playing a control mirror where you play 10 2-mana divinations and they're casting Lorien Revealed.
And you could duress your way through like you could.
You can
duress
also do
push.
that, yeah. As long as you're smart about like save your cast down for their Murmuring Mystic, and timing your duresses well. Like stuff like Jeskai Ephemerate and Izzet Scred tend to be pretty good matchups overall.
Okay. Interesting.
Very cool.
Do we have any Discord questions?
Yeah, we've kind of touched on a number of things that
You did
folks
good on
were curious about. from the Dark Horse, I'd like to hear how a Jund player prioritizes developing their board. We kind of talked about, you mentioned Cleansing Wildfire is like the place to start.
The ideal play you want to make on turn 2, you want to go, or the ideal opener is turn 1 bridge, turn 2 Cleansing Wildfire, but pretty much any hand that has 2 lands, one of which is untapped, and a turn 2 play of like Wildfire, Ichor Wellspring, or Lembas is almost always a snap keep. It could be like,
even no third land drop.
Oh yeah,
you'll find it.
Oh yeah, you'll find it.
Lembas draw spell, Ichor draw spell.
Yeah,
find it.
I mean, even if it's like basic swamp, Ichor. Honestly, I would keep like basic forest, Ichor Wellspring, no other lands. Like that draw engine is just like so important to get going. It's like that is like turn 2 is your pivotal turn.
Yeah.
I think I said this already. Don't get baited into keeping bad hands with Weather the Storm against like red decks. It's way more important for you to get your little slop engine going than it is to gain 9 life randomly. Okay, I think somebody did ask about the I'm gonna look up this Jund Snow thing.
It's not worth it.
It's Gardens splashing red for Skred, I think.
No,
it's not. It's technically Jund, but it's more Gardens.
Well, that's what I'm talking.
You can also do that.
That's what I'm talking about. Is the Wildfire list with fungal colossus?
Yeah,
I think that's what they were referring to.
Decks that I've seen called Jund Snow. One of them is just Jund, but it plays fungal colossus. I think that's just like one person. I don't know what they're on, but like it's working for them. I don't know. I don't really know what's happening. The other one is the black green garden splashing red for Skred and Writhing Chrysalis, and that's way more of a Gardens deck than it is like a Jund Wildfire deck, because I don't even think it plays Wildfire. I think that the only red cards are Skred and Chrysalis.
Yeah, I think so.
From Alum of the Pod Brew, you answered almost all of his questions except for, is Silly secretly the illegitimate son of Reed Duke that many have claimed?
No comment.
No comment. Okay, perfect.
No comment.
I like that little quip.
Yeah, I think we covered like most of every. I guess. Oh, Anna has one at the end of when does the toxin analysis come out, and also do you ever side Furby out?
So the toxin does come out. Like I mentioned, definitely against white because a little bit of life gain doesn't really matter, and you don't need the death touch. Along the same lines, I don't even hate taking it out against like Rally. Like if you Krark and wipe their board, you're already doing pretty good. And again, like against
X2s.
These decks, it's not 2 things.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're X2s max.
Oh yeah,
I'm saying that's like you don't need.
Yeah, against decks where it's like they're fundamentally creature decks, and you don't need anything bigger than like 2 or 3 sacrifices at a time.
Also, it's super unlikely that you're ever actually going to get it off too.
That's the other thing.
Because they're just going to sit there and hold lightning bolts to make sure that that does not happen.
Exactly. When does Furby come out? It does. The number one thing is Dredge. If you play against Dredge, they're just going to discard a Lotleth Giant or a Dread Return or a Stinkweed Imp or a Claw to the Bone.
My favorite,
sure,
I know
whatever.
I know this is not Jund specific, but I know one of my favorite things that's happened in the last, I don't know, month to 2 months of playing Pauper is when I was playing against Sam and he was on Grixis. And he plays a turn 2 refurbished layer, I'm on the draw. I went like turn 1 like Forest and pass the turn. He's like turn 2 refurbished familiar, and I was like, discard Ancient Grudge, blow up your land.
That's so sick.
And I was like, yeah, that's pretty bad.
That's just
pretty
hilarious.
I thought you were gonna say like Gorilla Tactics.
Nope,
or something.
I will discard this Ancient Grudge. That
I was like, what madness spell can you cast for a green mana?
No, I will flash this bad boy back.
I can think of a green madness spell that costs 0. But
yeah. That's where all my brain went to.
But
why would James put Root Wall in his deck?
Because it's sick.
I wouldn't.
That card's cool.
That's not a James card.
No.
So that's the main one. You, depending on if you need to make cuts, you can also trim, definitely not all of them, but some quantities against Spy, because again, they're just very likely to have a Giant or a Dread Return in their hand they don't care about. And honestly, just like, their cards are so bad when they're not winning them the game. I just like Cerulean Caretaker is an embarrassing card.
Oh, it makes mana.
The card's embarrassing.
No, it makes mana with another creature.
Yeah. Korean Ranger's not getting in the red zone.
If they've been like forest cycling a bunch, they don't need all their lands in play. They just discard one of them.
Yeah, because they make mana of Surly Caretakers.
They play enough mana dorks that like they don't need all 4 or 5 of their lands in play. They just need to get them out of their deck.
Yeah. I actively do not want to play my swamp against Jund until they.
Yes, that is
Combo off.
that is a very important line to think about. Also, you can sideboard out some quantity against Mono Red Madness, because even if they've taken out their Fiery Tempers, which is like just enabling those is really bad, like they'll probably discard like a Lava Dart or a Sneaky Snacker or a Faithless Looting. That it's just like whatever.
I have a question about the Spy matchup. So I think people are like, okay, it's 4 lands.
More?
They might be excited to cleansing. Sorry, I play this side a lot. They might be excited to cleansing Wildfire.
Yeah,
a land because they play 4 lands.
Doesn't matter.
Only the swamp. So like if you see 2 forests in play, are you cleansing Wildfire forest or no?
No, let's just get another one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I like that. Okay.
Actually, could go get the swamp.
Yeah.
Until
It
you're
could kill
certain
you
that they've
next turn.
gotten. Here's the thing: if you know they've gotten every land out of their deck, and you've just Krark-Clan Shamaned, and you want to start like hurting, and you want to start casting a cantripping Sinkhole, go nuts.
Yeah.
But like
Maybe just to hit
after
black.
that-
Like
The most
black
important one is to
yeah.
take them off black, but yes, technically, if you haven't cast any wildfires yet, I have done this like exactly once. If you've got 3 wildfires in hand, you just wipe the board, and they've got all 4 of their lands in play. Sure, go nuts, start hitting their forests.
I mean, that's kind of like the Avenging Hunter nail in the coffin on the clean board, you know?
exactly. So yes, I think refurb does come out from time to time. The only time you're taking all of them out, I think, is against Dredge, though, because it's just
Because that was way too fun.
Keep them in against Rakdos Madness. The
what's up?
Rakdos Madness, you keep them in.
If you're playing against Rakdos Madness, man, I don't know what you're doing.
It comes around. It's still pretty
I
popular.
played against it last week at League.
Yeah, kind of the same thing. You can trim some quantity of them.
want
They're
to.
nice answers to Kitchen Imp.
And they tap
still.
out too. So
Yeah. Oh, that's the other thing is if you know you're playing against a Madness deck, try and wait. If they're tapped out, then you kind of want to prioritize playing the refurbs then. Let's see. Yes, any kind of basics that are easier to find are worth playing for that purpose. How do you avoid going to turns every round? Play Gixian Infiltrator. That's it.
Play faster.
And also play faster, but also play Gixian.
Until your opponent play faster.
What do you get from Snow Basics? This is just Scred. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's kind of a different deck, honestly.
Yeah, I think we touched on pretty much everything.
Everything.
One other thing I'll say, flex slots, like in general, what do you look to sideboard out first? Hydra and munitions serve a specific purpose against winning the really big game mirrors against the slop decks. So if you're not playing against that, those are cards you should be looking to. Or some of the first cards you should be looking at, like, is it good in this matchup?
I think I tended to board out like the Toxin Krark Clan.
That's the next thing is Toxin Krark Clan good here? Again, really easy to tell. Is if I want to bring in the duress, I probably want to take out the Krark Clan Shaman and vice versa. The one of Blood Fountain, if they show any amount of graveyard hate, or if that slow of a card advantage doesn't matter, or honestly, if you're playing against Grixis and you know that they have 2 Nihil Spellbombs, they're bringing in a third anyway, cool. There's no need to play Blood Fountain and just make that a dead draw. If you don't care about, if Spellbombs don't matter, you can take, those are easy to look at. The only cards I would say you never cut are like Wellspring, honestly Wildfire, Fanatical Offering,
Oh wow.
and Writhing Chrysalis.
You don't cut Wildfire against like other like blue decks.
Why?
I don't know. You said it's like don't run it into counter spells before.
Oh, you can run it in a counter spell. You just can't run it into a boomerang.
The steel sabotage thing's bad.
Yeah.
If like they go to cast.
So those are generally what I would call like the flex slots. Cast downs also, like, it's not good against like fairies or something like that.
You want to kill a ninja?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. What if they just ninjutsu? I don't know.
Well,
They've already drawn a card. I don't know.
Well, they. Well, obviously don't cast down the 2 more open mana.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of killing a turn 1 fairy. If they're
I'm
on
also a
the
big fan of killing a turn 1 fairy.
Yeah.
It's usually
Oh
pretty good.
yeah.
to do
Oh
that.
man, fire blasting a fairy miscreant feels amazing.
That's you can't do that on turn 1.
Pyroblaster.
Pyroblasting
Right
a
on the
fairy
top.
miscreant
You
feels
said
amazing.
you said fire blast.
Yeah. I knew.
And I
it.
was like,
There you
that
go.
That
seems
also
not
feels
great.
pretty good, I bet.
I bet it does not.
No, it doesn't.
I hate when my fire blast don't draw me 7 cards.
Those are my favorite fire blasts.
Tragic.
Cool.
I cannot tell you how to take a shower because that's for the blue players.
Stinky.
We've been over this. Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you, Matthew.
Yeah.
This is great. Something we've been meaning to do for a little while, and Jund's still very good, fam.
If you got any questions for him, you can join our Discord and add him directly.
Yeah.
Sentilles something in there, right?
Sentilles, or if Cameron's changed my name, it's probably something along the lines of Camp Counselor Sillard Scintillard II or something like that.
Camp Counselor Sillard Scintillard 735 silly.
Yeah.
Silly.
Or you could text him directly at 615.
Send me some fan mail.
Yeah.
There you go. And if you really need to get a hold of me, my social is
Docs you.
Wonderful.
If you made it this far, thank you so much for listening. Sentilles, thank you for joining us and giving us your time. Cannot wait to commentate with you, dude. It's gonna be so much fun. We're gonna have a blast. It's like the FOMO of not playing a tournament sucks, but I cannot tell you how much fun it is to commentate these.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
It's we vibe so well with Tristan. We hang out with you all the time and vibe with you super well. So it's gonna be nothing but fun. I cannot wait.
Yep. It's gonna be a good day.
It's gonna be awesome. Do you have any shout outs? Anybody want to reach you? Just Discord.
Discord, join this Discord. Ask me any questions about Jund. Nothing else, just Jund.
Just Jund.
I just want to yammer on about
No.
Jund.
Actually, I do have a non-Jund question that is magic related.
Okay.
How are you so good at keeping one-landers in red
Oh my
green?
God!
Here's the thing.
You are the
When
most
your
insane
opening hand
human
has
being.
Forest, Arbor Elf, and Utopia Sprawl. The top card of your deck, it is another forest, so you can turn to Acid Moss.
Yeah, you pissed me
It's
off.
actually
You really
mathematically
actually infuriate the both of us at which you are able to keep one-landers and are not
like
punished.
because you did the team share of Tristan and like you'd be like, does this look cute? We're like, no, and you're like, I'm gonna try it and just win the game anyway. Oh my God!
I got to play the mirror against Derek last Saturday for the first time in a while.
Did you stunt on him too?
That was so much fun. Both of our first two games took a combined total of like 8 minutes. It's just both of us, whoever was on the play, got to thermokarst like an enchanted land, and the other person would just concede.
Nice.
Yeah, you got it, man. Sure.
The nuts, I guess.
Maybe you wait to
Incredible.
play your enchantment land and your enchantments. Until
But what's the fun in that?
Yeah, good point. Maybe you do hold on to the enchantments if you're on a draw. That's interesting.
We got a bunch of events listed in the show description, as well as the events channel in our Discord, so you can check those out. A lot of awesome events coming up. Thank you again to Game Night. Come check out the Come check out the Common Ground Cup 4, the fourth Common Ground Cup.
Come see us shirtless.
Yeah.
This is
Something
in
like that.
person.
Yeah. July 25th. Lots of other events going on. A number of us will be at Pauper Genesis on July 12th. It's going to be a great time.
I'll be winning.
I still don't know what I'm
Pauper
playing.
Genesis.
Well, you have to get through me first, buddy.
Okay.
Yeah, you're historically pretty good.
I was like, I think I'm all right with this.
Yeah.
going, but
Yeah, wonderful.
If you don't want to join the Discord, you can email us questions at commongroundmgpod@gmail.com. We love hearing your questions. We have a questions tab in the Discord as well. We like to roll with them, get whole topic ideas from there. Y'all are pretty cool.
It's true. Yeah.
it's true.
You can go see Rardy's Goats. I know he
Got a
loves
pets
it when I
channel.
shout out him.
The goats.
Yeah, the goats.
They're the goats.
the goat.
The goats. I got nothing left.
No, that's it. I got a headache. I got to go.
Kiss the go-go's.
Headache.
It's time to
No,
go.
the ache is
Now,
on.
before you go, goat. Not a very good Pokemon, go goat.
But he is a goat.
It's a goat.
Can you melt them in the game? Were you there, Cube, one night? I go to use my bathroom. Someone just pissed all over the seat. I'm like, hey, whoever peed on the seat next time, just clean it up.
Yeah, what the
And I'm like, God damn, animals.
How hard is it to put a seat up?
Let's just sit down and pee. It's just so much easier. It's just nicer. I'm not pissing on my seat by accident. Sitting down to pee is a plus. Are you stand or sitter?
I am a sitter in private, stander in public.
I get that.
Because-
Stand or sitter.
The same, because I don't want pee particles all over my bathroom, and also like our toilet is just kind of like you've seen our toilet, like it's just kind of like in between the shower and the sink, and it's not if the toilet had like if it was tucked away like with like a little wall division thing, then
Yeah.
it'd be like, yeah, sure, whatever. I'll piss standing up at home.
Stand or pee? You or stand or pee?
Stand or
Pee or
pee.
sit.
Or
God damn it.
are you a non-standard P kind of guy?
Or are you a not pee kind of guy?
I think I
Do
would
you just
rather.
not
I think
pee?
I would rather stand than pee.
Sit or pee? God damn it! No!
Donkey.
Stand or sit to pee.
Same thing with him.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm glad we're in a room full of
Okay.
not barbarians. Also, I narrowed it down. That was the real reason. It wasn't one of you three. I'm coming for you. Whoever.
I also.
it was.
Why would I go in yours?
Yeah, I don't know. Good.
Why would I do that?
You were off the list already.
I'm clearly.
well, to piss on my seat, obviously. It's just we're Cuban. You're like, I beat you. Like, don't show that. It starts peeing all over my seat.
Oh my god.
Trying to use pheromone.
Elixir of mortality, and just you didn't even play that draft.
No, I wasn't.
He wasn't here. Oh god. Well, found the end bit.